Om Shanti.
Namaskar. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Independent Research Ethics Society and International Interdisciplinary Institute for Research, Education and Skill. We are grateful on behalf of AYUSH Samriddhi webinar series, international conference series, rather we can say, to have senior dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, on both sides. Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji, Professor Madan Thangvelu ji, Dr. Eesh Sharma ji, and Jagdishwar ji, Sudhakar Reddy ji. And now I welcome Professor Kamlesh Kumar Sharma ji from Jaipur, Rajasthan. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. So, I would like to communicate my sincere thanks to all the speakers, Dr. Mukund Sabnish ji, Dr. Soumya, and Dr. Niranjan Saraf, to accept my short notice invitation, and today they are gracing the event. For moderation, I would like to introduce, first of all, Professor Madan Thangvelu sir. He is genome biologist in Cambridge University and Director of International Interdisciplinary Institute for Research, Education and Skill, who is going to launch courses on government guidelines initially, GMP, GCP, GLP, all job-oriented course or upgradable job courses. So without wasting much time, I would like to introduce first speaker, as I have his CV. But before him, I would like to request Professor Madan Thangvelu sir to bless us in his study.
Pawanji, namaskar.
Namaskar,
I hope my audio signal is loud and clear. Greetings from Cambridge. Very happy to be here with all these eminent speakers today. This is Pawanji has chosen a very special theme today, that it's National Pizza Day. And he's saying no to fast food. This has become almost a pandemic, this whole area of foods and industrial foods, as we call it. The World Health Organization have been spending a lot of time thinking about how to put an end to industrial fats. There is a group of fats that are called industrial fats. They are modified in some ways. There are some extra hydrogen bonds, etc., put there, plus other things to make it industry friendly with little consideration for health consequences. So I will put in the chat box about the WHO efforts to reduce and ban industrial fats. It's something similar that we have. हमारी जो आयुर्वेद में food is medicine. So we consider food as medicine. Now this concept is difficult for a lot of people to understand. Why is food medicine? And the reason why we understand it easily is because it is deeply embedded in the entire philosophy that gives rise to Ayurveda and Ayush systems. Our whole thinking and the worldview is a very rich worldview that connects with deep principles. If you go into Sankhya, for instance, it connects with Avyakt, happening before even manifestation. So our worldview and our thinking resonates with that, which is different from the worldview of the Western mind. The second thing, because of that, we have a deep connection and respect and reverence for food. If you go to the third section of Taittiriya Upanishad, it argues for why food is God. And it's a very special section, what is offered at Taittiriya Upanishad. So this is something that we must resonate about. You know, it says, I'm just going to give my rendition of the Bhrigu of Taittiriya Upanishad. It goes like this, that all life comes from life. All life requires food. Therefore, food is our oldest relative. This is the insight that comes from this worldview. तीसरी चीज कि out of this worldview comes the thinking that we must respect what is traditional, what is regional, and what is seasonal. And those are the messages that we have about food. So Pawanji has rightly identified this issue about why we are celebrating foods that are traditional to other parts of the world. Is it good for our health? I think that is one point that will come out. Obesity is a big pandemic. We have completed a survey in Austria, 770,000 school children, 90,000 teachers. And what do we find there? That children today, these are secondary school children, they are obese. And that obesity comes from inactivity. It comes from a little bit of the environment because it's a cold land, energy-rich foods, new foods. And so all these, obesity is the largest, perhaps one of the largest silent pandemics that's going on in comparison to what we see today with the viral pandemic. There are other pandemics. So these are all the issues that Pawanji has threaded together, and he is pointing us to think about. He says, are we doing the right thing? In a country like Ireland, this is my last point, in a country like Ireland, 50% or thereabouts of children are obese or overweight. And the country has brought legislation saying that there will be no certain food outlets anywhere near the schools, within a certain distance, 500-600 meters around the schools. You will not get permission to have a fast food stall anywhere there. So this is the kind of historic perspective and the global perspective and many happenings that are going on around the world. And we leave it for our presenters to elaborate, and then we discuss these points. Pawanji, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your blessings and introduction. Now I would like to request Dr. Mukund Sabnish, founder, president of Jeevan Rekha Ayurved Chikitsalaya and Research Center. He is MD Ayurved, Rasashastra and Bheshaj Kalpana. Worked extensively on standardization and stability of Ayurvedic medicine and developed a unique management for obesity. For more than 48,000 of patients have been benefited with the treatment. Developed more than 85 centers in India and abroad for treatment of obesity as disease, and various award, Dhanvantari Award 2007, where the Kotikar Puruskar, means he is the dignitary. No doubt, I would like to welcome Dr. Mukund Sabnish, obesity expert and Ayurvedic physician. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Sirji. Respected dignitaries, Sarve Sukhinaha Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Paschantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhagavad. So I actually thank to the organizing team to give me a chance to share my thoughts regarding fast food and regarding what Ayurveda says about all this type of food and why we should not have such type, not only fast food, which we talk about burgers and pizzas and such type of food, but even there are many types of food which we don't look to that food as a fast food, where Ayurveda says it is a fast food, but we have not recognized it. That's a very important concept, what I'm going to put before you today. So today is a International Pizza Day and the whole world is enjoying pizza. But here we people are discussing about why not pizza. Not only pizza, but all such type of food what we are promoting in the society, that is proving detrimental to the health. And when the era of pizza started, I think it was the food of the poor in the Western countries and the European countries. But now it is out of fashion that many youngsters, many rich people, students, they are using this fast food as a convenience food. So food convenience and food industry has made such an impact on the mind of the people that yes, this food is a real food, this food is a rich food, and everybody is behind such type of food. So today we will talk about say no to fast food. And when we see certain Ayurveda quotations regarding that Ayurveda already doesn't consider all such type of food as food itself. See the definition. That we say no to pizza, say no to fast food, but Ayurveda doesn't say it is food only. They have clearly mentioned yad ahara jatam agniveshah samasheva sharira dhatun prakruto sthapayati vishwanscha samikaroti vidham viparitam tvamat miti. So those food articles that maintain an equilibrium state in the body elements, means maintaining equilibrium in the body tissues and help in eliminating abnormality or disturbance in the path of equilibrium, can be considered as wholesome food. So that type of food which is going to maintain normalcy into the body tissues, into the body homeostasis, that type of any food is called as wholesome food. Other type of food are not at all called as wholesome food. That is the main definition of Ayurveda. So fast food doesn't come under the definition of food itself in Ayurveda. So that's very important thing. And then they say that deha dhatu pratyanika bhutani dravyani deha dhatur virodham apadyante. So this type of food, this type of fast food can be categorized, though they have not categorized in the olden days, that can be categorized into viruddhana itself. Paraspara guna viruddhani kanichit sanyoga, the combination of the food what we are using today, that we are consuming cokes and soft drinks rich with sugar along with the food which is rich with refined carbohydrates. So paraspara guna viruddhani kanichit sanyoga, sanskar, that's very, very important part. So the processing of the food, maybe the cold, right from the cold storage, then excess of heat, and whatever we are mixing into it. So processing of the food itself is detrimental, because what we call as the advanced glycation in products which are getting created into such type of food, it is going to have a very bad impact on the tissues. So desha kala matrabhishya parani tatha swabhavat parani. So all this type of food can be called as viruddhana or uncompatible food for the humans. So they again say that such type of food, that utklesha doshan hare dravyam yat samasataha viruddham tadita dhatunam pratnaikataya sthitham. So those substances which cause the increase of doshas in the body but do not expel out of is known as viruddhana. And all such type of food, all type of fast food, we can't expect what we are going to see in the next slides. So all such type of food which create advanced glycation end products or which create receptors for advanced glycation end product, maybe it may be CML, it may be CLE. So there are many types of advanced glycation end product, maybe acrylamide. So all these maybe aldehydes from the oil we are using in preparing fast food, all these advanced glycation end products, they get situated into the body tissues and they are not able to expel out, and then hindering the functions of the organs, functions of the cell. So this type of food is called as viruddhana. So all type of fast foods are to be called as viruddhana. And they say that yat kinchit dosham astravya na nirharti kayata. This has to be taken from Charak. Ahara jatam tat sarvam ahitam upadyante. So entire drug or diet that excites the doshas, and no doubt fast food excites the doshas very badly. So the entire diet that excites the doshas but does not eliminate it out of the body is harmful. And definitely whatever the metabolites are getting out of this fast food, they are not able to come out of the body. They get restored into the body cell, and they have a detrimental effect on the organs. Similarly, the abhishandi, so whatever the foodstuffs what we are eating from the fast food, either they are viruddha, either they are abhishandi. So paichilyat gauravad dravyam ruddhva rasavah sira. Here the word gaurav is very important, which denotes inflammation. Very important word, that paichilyat gauravad dravyam. All such type of food which we call as fast food, they are all inflammatory food. So they can create inflammation at a cellular level. They can create inflammation at an intestinal level, at a gut level. They can destroy the gut flora very badly, creating lot of inflammation into the gut, lot of inflammation at a cell level, lot of inflammation at a adipose tissue level, creating very deviations into adiponectin, maybe creating deviation into the inflammatory factors which are secreted by the adipose tissues. So this Paichilya, the Gaurava, Dravyam, Rudhvar, they create obstruction into the body channels. Means they can create obstruction into the cell-to-cell metabolism. So this can create lot of obstruction into the body tissues, into the cell mechanism, and that they can hinder the effects of the properties of the organs. So this inflammatory food, this fast food can be directly called as an inflammatory food. Whatever fast food we are preparing, that is bound to create inflammation in the body if your body is not able to digest it very correctly. So if we want to define fast food, what do you mean by fast food? The fast food defined as food purchased in self-service or carry-out eating places without wait service. This was a definition created of fast food, that food purchased in self-service or carry-out eating place, so which is prepared very fast. So it is no need that we should go into the hotel and go into the cafe or go into the some outlets. Go into the outlets to prepare fast food. So we can, even in the house we are preparing fast food nowadays. So we should be aware for all these things, that we are preparing fast food in the house itself as a convenience of food. So explode in the popularity since its humble origins. In the roadside hamburger stands of 1930s, it came to the hotel. But nowadays, such type of food is getting prepared at home also. And this is what we call as a fast food. So it is important to understand that oils are also processed foods. Whatever we are frying, maybe bhujia, maybe vada pav, maybe samosas, maybe kachodis, what we are preparing, or maybe fafadas, what we are preparing. If we are using the same oil for the boiling of that or for frying, that oil, that food itself is a fast food. That food itself is an inflammatory food. And Ayurveda has clearly elaborated, Ashtanga Sangrahakar has clearly elaborated that you should not reuse the oil if we are using in the food. So it is important to understand that oils are also processed food. When consumed, oil enters the bloodstream rapidly, similar to the high glycemic carbohydrates. So anything cooked in oil should be considered a fast food. So beans, nuts, and seeds are whole foods whose calories are absorbed gradually over hours. So in contrast, the calories from oil are absorbed rapidly and are largely empty calories, a combination that leads to obesity, disease, and premature aging. Not only obesity and premature aging, but such type of inflammatory food or such type of fast food, if we are consuming regularly, can lead to even malignancy also. So that should be taken care of, that we are not consuming such type of oils, or reheating of the oils should be avoided while preparing the fast food. So humans in the early ages never ate 400 calories coming out of oil per day the way people do, especially youngsters in Western countries and now in Eastern also, which are known for the highest stroke and heart attack rates as in the world. So when you use nuts and seeds as a source of fat, it as opposed to oil, we see the opposite effects.
Sabnish ji, sorry to interrupt your wonderful flow.
Yeah.
Aapke slide बढ़ नहीं रहा है.
Okay, 1 minute.
Please share the दूसरी, तीसरी, चौथी slide. आपके उसमें इतनी
अभी दिख रहे हैं?
नहीं जी, पहली वाली slide दिखाई दे रहा है.
Okay.
क्योंकि वो पहली 3-4 slide में काफी कुछ है जी, सामान हमारे लिए.
आगे जाइए.
अब दिख रहा है?
नहीं ना, पुढे जात नाहीये. आता आलं.
अब
आलं. Okay.
Yes.
So this fast food, humans never ate 400 calories of oil a day the way people do. So especially youngsters in Western countries and now in the Eastern countries, they are known to have highest stroke and heart attacks at a very younger age. And the main reason behind that, even the main reason behind creating having more and more malignancies into the society is the basic inflammation at a cellular level due to such type of food. Only this pizza is blamed, only burger is blamed. But whatever the quality of cooking and processing of food we are using in India nowadays is also a cause of inflammation into the people. So that we have to mind well that such type of food is to be avoided. So even worse is what happens when you eat food fried in oil.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट. आधीच्या पण स्लाइड्स दाखवता येतील का? काही दोन चांगलं कंटेंट होतं ते मिस झालंय. हा, ते सुरुवातीच्या 1-3-4. हा करेक्ट याच आधीच्या. हा,
coming to Paichilya, Gauravat, Dravyam. So this word Gauravat, it refers to inflammation, and whatever such type of food which can block the microchannels of the body can be called as abhishandi or inflammatory food. So this type of food which can be compared with the inflammation. So such type of fast food is actually an inflammatory food. So we should have a quotation or notation that fast food is equal to inflammatory food. That is must, until and unless it comes to the society, until and unless it is taught from the schools that fast food and the processing of the food is an inflammatory food, then and then only it will come to the impact, because people are unaware that what type of food they are preparing even at the homes. People feel that we are preparing at home, it is good. But no, the way you are frying, the way you are heating it on a high flame, the oils, you are reheated oils you are using repeatedly for the preparing of the food, this is all under the category of inflammatory food. So that should be avoided, that's very important. So even worse is what happens when you eat food fried in oil, because fried food may create carcinogenic and mutagenic aldehydes. That's very important. And if you see the aldehyde percentage into the oils, or if you can go for the blood aldehyde level, so that can create lot of lipid peroxidation or oxidative stress into the body. All such type of food, even because it has one serving of French fries or fried chicken that is cooked in a fast food restaurant, has 100 times the level of aldehyde designated as safe by the World Health Organization. Not only that, even the fumes are so toxic that they can create cancer. So that can create lot of oxidative stress into the people. And this oxidative stress can lead to inflammation. This oxidative stress can lead to diseases like obesity, diabetes, polycystic ovarian disease, and many more. And not only waiting there, that can lead to even malignancy. And we are finding the causes of malignancy elsewhere. But it is itself in our food that our wrong processing of the food is itself an important cause of malignancy. And when fast food is there, the processing matters a lot into the fast food. How we process, what chemicals we are using while preparing the fast food to increase the taste is very, very important. So fast food tends to be high in fat, energy dense, poor in micronutrients, and low in fiber. So all such type of food, which is high in fat, and whenever we have more fats, it is more tasty. So the increase in prevalence and severity of obesity occurs too fast to attribute solely to genetics. Modeling trends in BMI distribution from 1960s to 2000 and from 2000 to 2020 suggest that the entire curve has shifted and just the tail end. So thus environmental factors must be implicated, and whatever is happening to everyone. Means we are not out of the society. Some or other time, due to the socialization, once a while in a week, we have to take such type of food, whether we are willing or we are not willing. So we have to be very, very alert, because many times we see that when we tell that, okay, only Sunday we will go to the hotels and have fast food. So every Sunday we order the burgers. The body doesn't know there is a Sunday. That's very important. So every time if it is happening, then definitely our body has ends with some metabolic problems. So what if you see the QSR says top 5 segments by market share, hamburger focused restaurants, that is 30+% market share, pizza parlors 15% market share, sandwich shops 12% market share, chicken restaurant 8% market share, Mexican restaurant only 7% market share. If you see the upper 4, they are all fast foods. People are so addicted to all such type of food. Their palate is so addicted to all such type of food that they can't resist themselves to have such type of food. So again, that fast food added with sugar. In Hindi or Marathi, we say it is a Dugdha Sharkara Yog. So this Dugdha Sharkara Yog is very bad for health. Means all such type of sugared beverage consumption has increased markedly over the past 3 decades. Between 1977 to 1996, the proportion of individual consuming sugared beverages increased to 76%, and the frequency of consumption increased to 2.39 servings per day, and portion size increased to 13.6 to 21 ounce per day. So see the amount of people. So bigger size. Now, when we were small, we used to get 200 ml of the what we call as glass bottles of Coke. Now we are getting 2 liters of bottle. So there is no limit to consume this type of fast foods. So the average total calories from the sweetened beverages more than doubled from 70 calories to 189 calories per day. And due to all this fast food, it was seen that sugared beverage dose and milk consumption dropped by 38% in 1971. But now again, milk is also coming as a fast food. If you see the hotels, they have the flavored milk, which is rich with sugar. This should also be categorized, because such a high calorie load into the body, such a high glycemic index, such a high glycemic load on the body is that the body is going to land into inflammation or metabolic syndromes. So this type of ready-made milks, which is flavored and rich with sugar, is also a type of fast food that we should remember. We should not blame only the fast food coming from the European countries or Western countries like pizzas and burgers and hot dogs and all these things, but the Indian food is also the same quality of fast food that we should not forget. So the connection between fast food and obesity is that nutritional analysis shows fast food to be high in fat, saturated fat, energy density. The most important culprit is fructose and glycemic index, yet poor in fiber, vitamin A, vitamin. So no doubt all such type of food is going to have and hypovitaminosis syndrome. And nowadays in the clinics, we tell people that if you are coming from a very rich family and if you are eating a very good quality of food, then also you have a hypovitaminosis syndrome. This hypovitaminosis is a metabolic syndrome nowadays. It comes under metabolic problem nowadays, that you are deficient with vitamin B12, you are deficient with vitamin D3. All these deficiencies are due to inflammation at a gut level. There are problems with the intrinsic factors at a gut level, which this fast food can create. So we should be aware of eating such type of fast food. So in a prospective study of fast food habit, baseline fast food intake correlated with the obesity. And they have seen that in the individuals with more than 2 visits to fast food restaurant per week gained 4.5 kg over 15 years. So weekend parties are not actually weekend parties. Though we say that, okay, I eat fast food only once a week. That's actually that once a week is also going to toll your body. That's very, very important. And even a second prospective trial and increase in the frequency of the last food restaurant by 1 meal per week was associated with an increase in the body weight of 1.6 pound above the 3.7 pound average weight gain in a 3-year study. So these weekend parties are to be done thoughtfully, that really whether my body, and there is no compensation. Make it a point that I will not eat throughout the day and I'll enjoy it tonight with the weekend party with the fast food. No, whatever the impact the fast food is going to do on the inflammation or the glycation, that is, and that ultimately leading to mitochondrial dysfunction, ultimately leading to insulin resistance. These are the biggest pathologies which this type of fast food are creating, so that we should take care for this. So linking fast food to CNS, central nervous system, insulin resistant fast food as an energy dense food. So it has been seen that calculated the energy density of the traditional African diet or Indian diet, compared it to the energy density of the meals available at the several large fast food chains. The traditional Gambian diet provides 439 joule per 100 gram, whereas energy density of fast food meals range between 1054 or 1167 kilojoule per 100 gram. See the density of the food. And what happens that when we are consuming such a dense food, it is again for a time being, it can be our appetite or our satiety will be there. Again, people will feel hungry and they will eat more. So although individuals tend to increase their immediate food intake after ingestion of fast food or other energy dense meals, they do not compensate fully, leading to inadvertent overconsumption of the food afterwards. Means if we go outside we will have a pizza, come home again back and again eat at the home. So this type of the regular fashion is there among the Indian men. They don't disclose that I have eaten outside, I will not eat at home now. And then they land into multiple issues. So moreover, humans do not regulate long-term energy intake to compensate the short-term energy dense meals. So this is very important that such type of weekend parties should be thoughtfully done for each and every person. These fast food have a very, very bad impact on the glycemic index and glycemic load. So here it has been said that yet with the increased popularity of the highly processed food, the glycemic load of the average modern diet has been on the rise. So I think this modern word, the word of modern, maybe science, maybe medicine, anything this modern which is coming, is the word modern detrimental to health? What was old, there we were not landing into many metabolic problems. But whenever this modern diet and modern all this coming, it is getting proved to be detrimental for the health. And this word modern diet or modern food, or the people who are going behind the fashion of fast food or this inflammatory food, they should stop consuming all these things. So fast food as a source of fructose, again a very, very important thing, that whatever the fast food we are consuming, whatever means, if you go for the fast food center or a restaurant, and if we order some pizza or burger along with that, or early in the morning we are consuming fruit juices, ready-made fruit juices, it may be sugared or it may not be sugared. The metabolism of fructose differs from that of the other monosaccharides such as glucose in a way that modify insulin dynamics and obesity risk. Even IRES says that all these juices are very good to get digested. So fructose is absorbed in the intestine by the GLUT5 receptors, and glucose, which is frequently found in the same food as fructose, enhances intestinal absorption of fructose. So fruit juice is also a fast food that should be remembered, and that should be brought on the surface, and that should be known to the society that, okay, don't blame only all these such type of fried food or vada pav or samosa or kachori. Even regular consumption of juices can have an inflammatory effect on the liver, inflammatory effect on the intestines. So this fast food, this fruit juices should also be called as fast food, what I feel, because I'm practicing regularly in the clinics. I see such patients who are having strong insulin resistance. Their fasting serum insulins are very high when they are consuming high amount of fruits or fruit juices. So here we can show that the enzymatic activity of the phosphofructokinase respond to change in glycogen storage and products of glycolysis, and thus tightly regulate metabolism of glucose. So fructose, in contrast, enter the glycolytic pathway unchecked. So fructose metabolism leads to an accumulation of intermediates of the glycolysis that are converted to glycerol and acetyl coenzyme before being synthesized into fatty acids. And here you can see that excess consumption of fructose, that can lead to more and more fibrosis of the liver, more and more inflammation, creating byproduct as uric acid. So this type of fast food, along with the fruit juices, again can be a very, very dangerous combination. So this combination can be again detrimental to health. So again, animal protein means not only the carbohydrates or the refined carbohydrates which are used in preparing fast food, but animal protein as a fast food. So consumption means pizza with chicken or burger with chicken. So how is the chicken that is coming from the cold storage? When we look at the health implications of the animal protein, we should compare this type of nutrition with plant-based proteins, especially when an individual has cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, or even cancer. So very interesting is that when your protein comes from beans, nuts, seeds, and greens, the body more gradually assimilates a complete array of amino acids. We know that we can't get, our body can't synthesize amino acids, so we have to take amino acids from outside, from the proteins. So we are getting the complete array of amino acids from the seeds and greens to make functional proteins and hormones, keeping our insulin-like growth factor 1 production under control. Now, when a person adequate amount of plant protein keep in IGF-1 in the moderate rate, which we range between 100 and 175, which is there it should be. But if we are consuming such fast food along with animal protein, like maybe chicken, maybe mutton, or maybe pork, the average Western people IGF-1 level is around 225, which is a level which has been linked to cancer promotion. So when we eat a variety of plants, we get full balance of amino acids, which slowly enter the blood. And we also digest some of the bacteria in the digestive tract and some of the cell that slough off the villi endothelium, enabling the utilization of the partially incomplete plant protein. But it is not seen when we are using a plant protein, even a simple egg or meat, the amino acid mix enters the bloodstream faster as compared to the plant protein. And because of this fast uptake of these amino acids, it is already biological complete, so it stimulates excessive amount of IGF, that is insulin-like growth factor, in not only increasing cancer, first it will have an impact on the gut flora and the inflammation at the gut level. And this gut, inflamed gut, is the basic cause of, means as we say, rogaha sarvepi mandagnam. So similarly, it is the basic cause of majority of the cardiometabolic, diabetometabolic, oncometabolic risk factors. So thus we have to keep all these plant proteins, milk, fruits, it is to be consumed under control if we want to consume. So this animal protein as fast food, the average American consumes 10 to 20 ounces a day of animal product. And the fashion is coming as it is in the India, because the Indian subcontinent or the environment in India doesn't support such amount of animal proteins to get consumed. It is all, we know that Dushyam, Desham, Balam, Kalam, Prakriti, Manalam, Vayaha. So this Dushyam and Desham is very, very important, because in which geographical or which environmental condition we are living, that is very important. And whereas the safe level of consumption is likely less than 10 ounces per week, 300 grams of animal proteins per week. Estimate of 10% of calories as an upper limit of safe consumption is for a person with favorable genetics and is still likely more animal products than ideal for the non-elderly adults. So it is very important to keep these animal proteins under control. So it may be in the case that under 5% of calories from animal products where we more ideal for lifespan and facilitating disease reversal. So if we reduce the animal proteins, there can be disease reversal, because it is going to reduce the insulin-like growth factor 1 secretion, and that will have a very, very good impact on overall health and controlling the metabolic impacts on the body. So this animal protein as a fast food should be controlled. Then the animal products served as fast food restaurants are making the health of the population much worse, creating dangerous carcinogens from the food being grilled, barbecued, fried at high temperature. Very, very sanskaro hi gunantara dhanam, very, very important. That okay, we can have animal proteins, we can have non-veg, but how we are processing it? Every time if we are grilling it, if we are barbecuing it, if we are frying it at a very high temperature, there are many, many advanced glycation end product chemical entities which are getting created, that is called as a dietary age. And if there is no dietary age, this type of food will create an inflammation into the intestine, which will create intestinal age, intestinal advanced glycation end product. So such type of food should be, means the dosage, the portion size should be under control. So the World Health Organization has classified processed meat, that is hot dogs, sausages, bacon, lunch meat, a class 1 carcinogen. Even fast food should be categorized as a class 1 carcinogen, and age, that is advanced glycation end product, are also highest in barbecued and fried animal products, which also contain cancer causing chemicals that may be heterocyclic amines, maybe polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or maybe basically lipid peroxides. Means not only animal proteins, but if we are deep frying the things, having more and more heat, or more heating at a very high temperature, that can create more and more aldehydes, that can create melanoaldehydes into the blood, and that is the main cause of reducing the endogenous antioxidant level and creating not only malignancy but many more metabolic disorders. That's very important. So there are 2 phases of digestive cycle. So this cycle, that is anabolic phase and catabolic phase. So body stores the food in the form of fats, or that is called as an anabolic phase. And when you're utilizing the stored food, that is called as a catabolic phase of the food. So when your food is finished digesting, you enter the catabolic phase, and where the stored glycogen and fat are utilized for energy. So this is a phase when your body can most effectively detoxify and enhance cellular repair. So when there is a catabolic phase, when you're fasting, very important, when you are fasting, that comes under catabolic phase, and then the cell repair occurs at that time only. So it is the time when the liver and kidneys work together to remove the aldehydes. But when the load of aldehyde or the load of advanced glycation end products is too high, then the liver and kidneys can't detoxify it, can't remove it out of the body. They get situated into the smooth muscles, maybe in the arteries, into the veins, creating sclerotic changes into the organs like arteries and veins, or maybe in the organs like fatty liver, or maybe fatty pancreas, or maybe fatty ovaries in polycystic ovarian disease, or many fatty infiltration into the muscles. So that can happen a lot. So repair and healing is enhanced during the catabolic phase, and you are not eating food. So Ayurveda, what initially slide I have shown, that this is not at all a food. This is not going to create a homeostasis into the body that should be taken care. So this type of, most people consuming fast food have made their bodies so toxic that when they enter the catabolic phase of the digestive cycle, they feel uncomfortable. That means they feel fatigue, headache, stomach cramping, fluttering, anxiety, and for that reason they will eat more food, and that creates addiction. They are satisfying the reward area, because excess fat, excess sugar and salt combinedly can satisfy your reward area, can have an impact on the dopamine secretion, and that will create a pleasant feel for the person, and they will be into the land into addiction of such type of food. So every addiction has a high during the caloric rush and low during the withdrawal, and repair from the disease causing diet and resultant metabolic waste and toxins that occur from it. That's where, so such type of food should not be consumed. Now coming to the some of the last slides. Very important thought, very, very important thought, that fast food at night. Majority of the people, they consume fast food. They go outing is at night, means when you finish up with your office work, when you finish up with your work from home, then you are free from your responsibilities. Then people go for outing at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, maybe in some cities 11, 12 o'clock. So that is enhanced detoxification, reduction of metabolic waste, aldehyde and ages occur most effectively in the catabolic phase. That means the longer you live in the catabolic phase of the digestive cycle, the longer you will live, your life expectancy will increase. If you finish dinner earlier or have a lighter dinner, and you have a 13-hour window between the end of the dinner and the start of the breakfast, you are going to live longer. Very important. The same quotation is there multiple times. These quotations have occurred in Charak Samhita multiple times. I'm going to show one of the direct quotation from Grahani Adhyay. But see that they are telling even modern research. I have quoted the references in at the lower end of the slides. They are telling that you should have at least 13 hours eating, means fasting at night. What we are doing, we are eating 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock fast food, which is highly inflammatory. And immediately at 7 o'clock in the morning, we want breakfast. So there will be no insulin deep. And this will create insulin resistance, which is the basic pathology of all the metabolic disorders. So research study had women with breast cancer followed for 10 years and found that those who finished dinner earlier had a 13-hour window before the start of breakfast, had a 26% reduction in the risk of death or occurrence from breast cancer. So the increased nighttime window was also linked to improve the glycemic control, lower HbA1c. They had no better diet, no different number of calories, but just they have pushed their dinner earlier. So see the impact. So the gap at night, you should not eat. Even Yogaratnakar, Bhav Prakash, they have also quoted the same thing, that they should have 2 times meals and you should not eat more in the evening. So here is the reference from Charak Samhita Grahani Adhyay, and they say that if morning eaten food is undigested, very important slides. If morning eaten food is undigested, and still if anyone takes evening food, it may not be more vegetative, since in daytime all the channels of the body are dilated and heart is active, similar to the lotus which blooms with sunrise. Very important. Means once a while, if you have eaten a food in the morning, and still it is undigested. And if you are again eating in evening, okay, body can tolerate it because your metabolism is on the little bit higher side, your heart is active. During daytime, exercise, other physical and mental activities prevent the genesis of clay degeneration, that is excess moisture in the various dhatus. But similarly, now the next slide, which tells that if it happens in the night the channels are closed. So in the heart, which functions at slow rate as demand is less, there is a biological clock. There is a biological clock in the hypothalamus, and there are many biological clocks in the organs, mainly in the hepatocytes. They shut down at night. They are completely shut down. These biological clocks and the mechanism to digest the food is completely shut down. So in night, the channels are closed. So is the heart, which functions at slow rate as demand is less. The apakva ARES increases in the viscosity, creating more ama, adheres to the dhatus. And if another food is taken, the indigestion causes more apakva ARES, causing disease. So if you are eating at night, late night, you should see that you should skip your breakfast. This is overall saying that taking breakfast in the morning is very, very healthy, but it depends from person to person. It depends on how you have digested the previous meal. On that, your breakfast should be decided whether you should take a breakfast or not, or what type of breakfast you should have. So the condition resembles wherein uncooked milk mixed with warm milk gets spoiled. See the analogy they have given. Vidagdeshu payaha swanyat payas tatvapi varpitam. So this very, very important quotation, that the condition resembles wherein uncooked milk mixed with warm milk gets spoiled. Therefore, a wise person should not take meals if food taken at night is not digested. This will surely affect the strength and life of a person. So these quotations are very, very important and direct quotations from Charak. Similar quotations are occurring in many other adhyay. Many quotations are coming from Viman Adhyay, Vimanistan also, which says that your night food should be completely digested. Then and then only you should have a next day meal. So forcing, after taking fast food, forcing a strong or heavy breakfast or big portion breakfast early in the morning, before looking into that whether my previous food has been digested, that can be more detrimental, landing the person into metabolic disorder. Similar is with the fast, that this fast food has a lot of salt into it, creating again a load on the heart, creating high blood pressure and many other possibilities of the high salt content of the food. Then looking to the frozen, this frozen thing is again, because when you prepare fast food, these fast food ingredients, they are stored in the cold storage. And what we know that, yes, if you see the fluid egg, thawing results in a high degree of plasticity. Meat products derived from fish, mammals, shellfish, their rapidly microbial deterioration can be seen. 0 up to 0 degree or below 0 degree. So within what time you are freezing is very, very important. Fish proteins, quality of fish muscles protein get deteriorated in quality at a relatively fast rate. Not only the animal proteins or non-vegetarian, but even what we say the unbalanced and unblanched and underblanched frozen vegetables, frozen peas, the development of orders due to the enzymatic oxidation of the lipids. The value for peroxide value was higher in the unblanched peas, whereas blanched peas stored under the same condition had a peroxide value of 0. So what about the frozen vegetables and the frozen chapatis, what Indian people are using in Western countries? That they froze the chapatis, and it has a detrimental effect. It is not that whether you are storing in the -0 degrees centigrade, it doesn't mean at all that is 100% safe. So it is every time better to, and this frozen chapatis, again, we make it hot in the ovens. And these ovens, again, with quite change in the temperature within a short time, can create lot of advanced glycation in products, making the health detrimental. So this type of food which is stored in the refrigerator, whether it can also be eaten very fast, that is what we call as a convenience food. So this convenience of the food can be called as a fast food also, and that is also a very highly inflammatory food. So there are many other chemicals also which are used, that is propylene glycol or sodium nitrate or synthetic food dyes or ammonium sulfate, which are used to make food look for appearance. So these all type of Chemicals are used while preparing fast food. Fillers such as cellulose, olestra, potassium bromate are added to the thickening about like meat and bread can interfere with the body's natural nutrient absorption system, and that can have a bad impact on the health of the people. So I think we should wait here because there are other speakers waiting for the things. I really thank all of you for your silent listening and again giving me a chance on your platform to share my views. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Dr. Sabnish. Excellent.
Thank you.
You have really emphasized the right thing. In my opinion, what I feel, our marriages and celebrations are the root of the indigestion and this fat, because when guest enters, we offer Coca-Cola or carbonated drinks to dilute the acid, so appetite will be finished, number one. Then after the food, we are offering cold ice cream. Great, sir,
Yes.
great. And the roti is of maida, not of wheat. So all are contradictory. Viruddha ahar, and then also we are enjoying this in all our celebrations. Madan sir.
You have, Pawanji, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. You have shown how the errors in our modern living. I like your comment about modern, but there is something there which is not quite correct and that we should go back to. The other point I liked is the complete ease with which you could interface some of the concepts that are there in the depth of the Samhitas and the Tikas with contemporary biology. And this is a need. So I think you have highlighted, we unfortunately missed the first 2 or 3 slides from your presentation. Somehow that slides were not moving. We wanted to see, I think Pawanji might, because this is being, the reason why I highlight this is because the talk is being saved in YouTube. Many more people can learn about how you are connecting your thinking with the depth of what is there in the Samhitas. Also, your point about the Grahani Adhyaya. And these are all the key points that we need our young students to start to find exciting, sir. So clearly you have spent more than 30 or 3 decades or more thinking about this. And we feel very fortunate that you could spend some time with us today. And more importantly, we look forward to your guidance in growing our activities. This whole epidemic to pandemic situation that we have with many conditions, obesity, hypertension, all these things. You have shown us how easily we can connect many of the modern concepts with what is there in the text. So we look forward to your guidance as we go into our further programs. Thank you. Namaskar ji, namaskar. And I think I want to thank Patankar ji, Rajan ji, for bringing you into our fold. I think Rajan ji is connected with you. We are fortunate to have Rajan Patankar ji with us and to bring so many knowledgeable people from Maharashtra into our discussions. Thank you again, sir. We look forward to more of your presentations and learning
Thank you,
more.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I would like to request Dr. Niranjan Saraf, graduated from Jabalpur, MD from Nagpur, worked at Sri Seth JP Government Ayurved College, Bhavnagar, Government Ashtanga Ayurved College, Indore, and presently working at Government Dhanvantari Ayurved College, Ujjain. He was deputed to Budapest also in 2018. So without wasting much time, Niranjan ji, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much.
Stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pawan Sharma ji, for giving me this opportunity. And very good evening to all the eminent dignitaries who are available in this event.
You are not visible.
Sir, I am visible.
Okay, okay. Welcome.
मुझे शेयर करना है सर, स्लाइड्स शेयर करना है मुझे.
Please proceed. Please proceed.
निरंजन जी, आपका आवाज भी थोड़ा पता नहीं, थोड़ा सा कम है जी, उसको.
जी, मैं लाउडली बोलूंगा सर.
बढ़िया जी, थैंक यू. I'm highlighting, Niranjan ji, I'm highlighting this क्योंकि हमारी जो recording,
जी
it
जी
will stay in YouTube और लोग बाग will find it more convenient थोड़ा सा अगर हाँ जी, thank you.
I will speak loudly, sir. Sir, so this on this occasion of World Pizza Day, सर ने मुकुंद सबनीश सर ने बहुत डिटेल्ड डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया फास्ट फूड के बारे में. मैं कुछ आयुर्वेद के बारे में बताना चाहूँगा कि इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड जो है वह कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है हमारी आज की लाइफ के लिए. तो इसे मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि हमारा जो इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड है, तो स्लाइड चेंज हो रही है. तो इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड की यदि हम बात करते हैं तो इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड
बीच में ठीक हुआ था निरंजन जी.
जी
अभी फिर वो स्लाइड शो कर देंगे तो बड़ी हो जाएगी स्लाइड.
इतनी छोटी रहने दो स्लाइड की बड़ी करूं?
बड़ी करें तो अच्छा है.
जी 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 जी
स्लाइड शो में चली जाइए, अच्छा हो जाए.
जी 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 तो मैंने जैसे बताया कि इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और बहुत ही साइंटिफिक है, जिसको मैं आज अपने इस लेक्चर में बतलाना चाहूँगा कि भारतीय परंपरागत आहार या इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड जो है वह रिसर्च की सबसे बेस्ट मेथड के द्वारा परखा गया है. और रिसर्च की बेस्ट मेथड होती है कि टाइम टेस्टेड हो वो. जैसे कि हम देखेंगे बहुत सी मेडिसिन मार्केट में आई, निमेसुलाइड है, रोफेकॉक्सिब है, वह कुछ समय तक यूज की गई और कुछ समय के पश्चात ये पता चला कि वह हार्ट अटैक से या मायोकार्डियल इंफार्क्शन क्रिएट कर रही हैं, तो उनको धीरे धीरे बंद कर दिया गया. तो किसी भी रिसर्च मेथड को यदि टाइम के द्वारा परखा गया है तो उससे बेस्ट मेथड कुछ भी नहीं होती है. तो भारतीय परंपरागत आहार जो है वह समय के द्वारा परखा गया है हजारों सालों से, और वह रिसर्च बेस्ड है. इसको मैं आगे प्रूव करने की कोशिश करूंगा. तो क्या हम ये सोचते हैं कि डू यू बिलीव आयुर्वेदा इज रिसर्च बेस्ड साइंस? बहुत से लोग अभी भी आयुर्वेद की सबसे बड़ी विडंबना ये है कि बहुत से डॉक्टर्स इसे उतना गहराई से या गंभीरता से नहीं लेते हैं कि आयुर्वेद रिसर्च बेस्ड है या यह कुछ प्रोवाइड करता है. ऐसा मैंने अनुभव किया है. तो आयुर्वेदा इज ए टाइम टेस्टेड रिसर्च बेस्ड साइंस. आयुर्वेद जो है यह समय के द्वारा परखा गया और रिसर्च बेस्ड साइंस है. इसमें जो भी वर्णन किया गया है या हमारे टेक्स्ट में जो भी डिस्क्राइब्ड है वह बहुत लंबे समय तक रिसर्च के बाद ही उसको टेक्स्ट के रूप में फॉर्म किया गया है. जिसके कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स हम देखते हैं कि कुछ टेक्स्ट हैं, जैसे गज आयुर्वेद है, अश्व आयुर्वेद है. तो हमारे जो सीयर्स और सेजेस थे उन्होंने पशुओं पर भी ट्रायल करते थे सारी मेडिसिन के, और उस पर कुछ उन्होंने पुस्तकें भी लिखी, गज आयुर्वेद एंड अश्व आयुर्वेद. दैट मीन्स आवर सीयर्स एंड सेजेस आल्सो ट्राई देयर मेडिसिन ऑन एनिमल्स. वे मनुष्यों के साथ पशुओं पर भी ट्राई करते थे और उनके इफेक्ट्स देखते थे कि कौन सी मेडिसिन हार्मफुल है और कौन सी यूजफुल है. तभी मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारे जो ऋषि मुनि थे वे जान पाए कि कौन से, जैसे धतूर है या और भी टॉक्सिन्स हैं, एब्रस प्रिकेटोरियस है, तो ऐसे बहुत से टॉक्सिन्स हैं जिनको हमें नहीं लेना है, आफ्टर प्यूरिफिकेशन उनका ग्रहण करना है. तो हम यह कह सकते हैं कि हमारा साइंस जो है वह रिसर्च बेस्ड है. फिर इसके बाद एक और मैं एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा कि लाइक आफ्टर थाउजेंड ऑफ इयर्स एंड सेवरल अटेम्प्ट्स दे मेड चपाती, बॉइल्ड राइस, पल्सेस, फ्राइड बाय हिंदू. यहाँ मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि हम प्राचीन काल में जब एप्स के रूप में थे तब हम सीधे ही गेहूं को खा लेते थे या जौ को खा लेते थे या मक्का को खा लेते थे. आप सोचिए कि हम जो आज चपाती खा रहे हैं या रोटी खा रहे हैं वह कितने परिष्कृत होकर के आज वह हमारी प्लेट में हमारे आचार्य चरक ने उनको बताया कि यह कितनी महत्वपूर्ण है. तो हम बहुत ही धीरे धीरे स्टेप्स के साथ हमारे पूर्वजों ने पहले गेहूं को कूटा होगा, पीसा होगा, फिर उसके वेरियस प्रिपरेशंस बनाते बनाते जब उन्होंने लास्टली चपाती को देखा कि यह पथ्य है, मतलब इजीली डाइजेशन के बाद इसका मेटाबॉलिज्म होता है, इसका सर्कुलेशन इजीली होता है, तो यह सबसे बेस्ट है। इसी तरह राइस के साथ या हम दालों के साथ भी ले सकते हैं कि कोई भी आहार हमारी जो प्लेट में है वह रिसर्च बेस्ड है। पहले हम राइस को शायद जैसा मैंने गेहूं के साथ बताया कि कच्चा लेते होंगे, पानी में मिला कर लेते होंगे, पीस के लेते होंगे, या विभिन्न प्रकारों से परिष्कृत होते होते हमने यह देखा कि बॉइल्ड राइस जो है वह सबसे अच्छा है हमारे स्टमक के लिए या हमारे ब्लड के लिए, जो इजीली सर्कुलेट हो सकता है। तो हमारे आचार्यों ने इन सभी आविष्कारों को किया और हमें एक उत्तम रूप दिया। एक अगला एग्जाम्पल मैं दूंगा कि मैं रिसर्च की बात कर रहा हूँ कि आयुर्वेद में कैसे रिसर्च हुई होगी। तो बहुत से अटेम्प्ट्स के बाद हमारे ऋषियों ने ये जाना होगा कि अफीम का जो प्यूरिफिकेशन है या ओपियम का प्यूरिफिकेशन है वह जिंजर जूस से हो सकता है। उसके बाद वह सबसे बेस्ट फॉर्म में आती है कि वह हमारे शरीर में विभिन्न डिजीजेस को क्योर कर सकती है। तो यहाँ भी आप समझ सकते हैं कि उन्होंने कितने प्रकार से उसका प्यूरिफिकेशन किया होगा, कितनी ड्रग्स को यूज किया होगा, उनके एनिमल ट्रायल लिए होंगे, ह्यूमन ट्रायल लिए होंगे। उसके पश्चात उन्होंने यह जाना होगा कि ओपियम का जब हम जिंजर जूस से प्यूरिफिकेशन करते हैं तभी वह बेस्ट रिजल्ट देती है। फिर अनदर एग्जांपल यहाँ पर मैं देना चाहूंगा। सर मेरी आवाज अब क्लियर आ रही है पवन सर?
थोड़ी सी और वॉल्यूम बढ़ाइए निरंजन जी।
जी 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 सर जी। एक अन्य उदाहरण मैं देना चाहूंगा कि हमारे आचार्यों ने यह बतलाया है कि हमको कभी भी कोई एक्सरसाइज करने के पश्चात या आसनों के करने के पश्चात हमको शवासन जरूर करना चाहिए। तो इसके पीछे भी एक रीजन है या साइंस है कि जब हम एक्सरसाइज करते हैं या कोई भी आसन करते हैं तो हम एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन में ब्लड के सर्कुलेशन को इम्प्रूव करते हैं। जिस रीजन को हम बेंड कर रहे हैं या फोल्ड कर रहे हैं, एक्सटेंशन कर रहे हैं, तो जब हमारा होम्योस्टेसिस या इक्विलिब्रियम ब्लड सर्कुलेशन का बिगड़ जाता है, उसको फिर से नॉर्मलाइज करने के लिए हम शवासन को परफॉर्म करते हैं, जिससे हमारा हार्ट रेट नॉर्मलाइज हो जाए, रेस्पिरेटरी रेट नॉर्मलाइज हो जाए, हमारा सर्कुलेशन नॉर्मलाइज हो जाए या इक्विलिब्रियम में या नेचुरल स्टेटस में आ सके, जिससे हम रिलैक्स हो सके। अदरवाइज हम उतना अच्छा फील नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि हम रिलैक्स नहीं हो पाते हैं। फिर इसके अलावा मैं ये बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स दे रहा हूँ, आगे मैं फूड पर भी आऊंगा कि हमारा साइंस कितना रिसर्च बेस्ड है और कितना साइंटिफिक है। यहाँ पर मैं एक और एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा कि ये मेरे जैसे हाउ योगी नोज द एक्टिविटीज ऑफ एवरीवेयर इवन थाउजेंड ऑफ किलोमीटर्स फार अवे। ये योगी कैसे जान सकते थे कि हजारों किलोमीटर दूर क्या हो रहा है, किसी के मन में क्या चल रहा है? तो यहाँ मैं बतलाना चाहूंगा कि हमारा सारा यूनिवर्स जो है वह इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक है। अर्थात जैसा आयुर्वेद में कहा गया है, यथा ब्रह्मांड तथा पिंड ही है। तो इस ब्रह्मांड का हर एक पिंड इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक है, चाहे वह अर्थ हो चाहे हमारा शरीर हो। अर्थात अर्थ में भी और हमारे शरीर में भी इलेक्ट्रिक वेव्स जाती हैं, पास होती हैं, और मैग्नेटिक वेव्स भी पास होती हैं। तो योग एक ऐसा माध्यम है जिसके माध्यम से योगी अपने ब्रेन को इतना डेवलप कर लेते थे कि वह किसी भी जगह की फ्रिक्वेंसी को रिसीव कर सकते हैं। सेम जिस तरह से मोबाइल में होता है कि हम मोबाइल में वॉइस एनर्जी या साउंड एनर्जी को पास करते हैं, वह मोबाइल में इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट होती है और उसके पश्चात वह टावर तक जाती है, और फिर हमने जिसको कॉल लगाया है उसके फोन पर फिर से इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट होती है, फिर साउंड एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट होती है। तो सेम साइंस है। योगी जो होते थे अपने ब्रेन को इतना डेवलप कर लेते थे योग के माध्यम से या मेडिटेशन के माध्यम से, धारणा ध्यान समाधि के माध्यम से, कि वह किसी भी फ्रीक्वेंसी को रिसीव कर सकते थे। तो हमारा साइंस जो है वह रिसर्च बेस्ड है। फिर अब मैं थोड़ा आहार पर आना चाहूंगा कि हम आज हमारा टॉपिक है कि इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल फूड क्यों अच्छा है और फास्ट फूड क्यों अच्छा नहीं है। तो उसके मैं कुछ रीजन वाइज भी एग्जांपल्स देना चाहूंगा कि हमारा फूड जो भारतीय परंपरागत आहार है उसमें आयुर्वेद रचा बसा हुआ था, क्योंकि रीजन वाइज भी हम अपनी हेल्थ के हिसाब से हमने हमारा आहार सेट कर लिया था, परंतु हमने आज उनको छोड़ दिया है। इसी कारण पिछले 25 to 30 इयर्स में कार्डियक डिजीज, हाइपरटेंशन, डायबिटीज, अर्थराइटिस, थायराइडिज्म सब बढ़ते ही जा रहा है, जो पिछले 25 से 30 सालों पहले इतना ज्यादा नहीं दिखाई देता था। तो यहाँ मैं बताऊंगा व्हाई कॉर्न चपाती मोस्टली यूज्ड इन विंटर्स और पंजाब। हम देखेंगे कि ठंड के दिनों में हम मक्के की रोटी खाते हैं, और पंजाब में भी ऐसा होता है कि वहाँ मक्के की रोटी ज्यादा खाते हैं ठंड के दिनों में। इसका कारण क्या है? कॉर्न हैज इनफ फाइबर्स एंड टेकन विद इनफ घी विच हेल्प्स इन डाइजेशन। तो कॉर्न जो होता है उसमें फाइबर्स बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं, और इसको हमेशा बहुत अधिक घी या क्लैरिफाइड बटर के साथ लिया जाता है, जिससे यह इजीली डाइजेस्ट हो सकता है। पर कारण ये है कि ठंड के दिनों में पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट बहुत ज्यादा कम हो जाती है, क्योंकि मस्कुलर एक्टिविटी जो है वह ठंड के दिनों में कम हो जाती है, रेस्ट्रिक्टेड मूवमेंट्स होती है। यही कारण है कि हमारी जो आंतें हैं वह ठीक से कार्य नहीं कर पाती हैं। उस समय फाइबर्स की ज्यादा जरूरत होती है, और हम यदि उस समय फाइबर्स लेते हैं और हमारी पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट अच्छी नहीं है तो यह इजीली डाइजेस्ट हो सकता है। इस कारण कॉर्न को लिया जाता है। यही कारण है कि हमारा जो शास्त्र है वह रिसर्च बेस्ड है, तो इसलिए रीजन वाइज ऐसे विभिन्न आहार बने हैं। तो दूसरा एक कारण है कि कॉर्न हैज इनफ फाइबर, सो व्हाई इट इज नॉट वाइडली यूज्ड। सब जगह क्यों नहीं यूज किया जाता है? इसका कारण है कि बिकॉज इट गिव्स लो कैलोरी एंड मे कॉज वात वृद्धि। यदि हम इसको गुजरात में या महाराष्ट्र में या राजस्थान में जब गर्मी होती है, जब हम ज्यादा यूज करेंगे इसको और विदाउट घी यूज करेंगे तो वात वृद्धि हो सकती है। तो इससे हम समझ सकते हैं कि रीजन वाइज आहार का भी बहुत ज्यादा महत्व है। फिर अगला एग्जांपल मैं दूंगा, व्हाई राइस इज मोस्टली ईटन इन कश्मीर। हम देखेंगे कि जो कश्मीर है वहां पर ठंडा प्रदेश होते हुए भी राइस का ज्यादा कंजम्पशन किया जाता है। कारण यह है कि राइस इज द स्टेपल फूड ऑफ कश्मीरीज एंड हैज बीन सो सिंस एंशिएंट टाइम्स। मीट अलोंग विथ राइस इज द मोस्ट पॉपुलर फूड आइटम इन कश्मीर। इसका भी यही कारण है कि बहुत ज्यादा ठंड होने से कश्मीर जैसे रीजन में पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट बहुत ज्यादा कम हो जाती है। आप ये जानते हैं, आप सभी डॉक्टर से हैं, ठंड के दिनों में कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट कहते हैं कि ठंड में आप ज्यादा ना निकले, क्योंकि जो मूवमेंट्स होती हैं मस्कुलर मूवमेंट्स वह कम होती हैं और हार्ट पर उसका इफेक्ट होता है, तो उसके कारण हार्ट काम करना बंद कर सकता है। ठीक इसी तरह से हमारे इंटेस्टाइन्स में भी होता है कि हमारी पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट अच्छी नहीं होने के कारण हमारा डाइजेशन नहीं होता है, और कश्मीर जैसे रीजन में बहुत ज़्यादा ठंड होती है, और यही कारण है कि हम वहाँ पर राइस और जो मांसरस आयुर्वेद में वर्णित कहा गया है उसको ज़्यादा हम यूज़ करते हैं। यहाँ मैं एक और एग्जाम्पल देना चाहूँगा कि पंचकर्म के बाद आयुर्वेद में क्यों मंडपेया या वागु विलेपी दिया जाता है। तो उसका कारण भी यही है कि जब हम विरेचन कराते हैं, मान लीजिए, और विरेचन के बाद जब हम तीक्ष्ण औषधियों का प्रयोग करते हैं और उसके कारण पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट बढ़ती है, और हमारी आंतों में जो भी मटेरियल है, फीकल मटेरियल है, वह बाहर निकलता है, और उसके पश्चात हमारी इंटेस्टाइन्स में भी फटीग होती है। उस फटीग के कारण उनकी मूवमेंट प्रॉपर नहीं होने के कारण सबसे पहले मंड दिया जाता है कि वह इजीली हमारी इंटेस्टाइन्स में फ्लो हो और इजीली डाइजेस्ट हो जाए। वह लघु भी होता है, अनुलोमन भी होता है। तो इस कारण हम मंड का यूज करते हैं। ठीक इसी तरह से कश्मीर में राइस का ज्यादा यूज किया जाता है, चपाती का यूज नहीं किया जाता है या कम किया जाता है, क्योंकि वह इजीली डाइजेस्ट नहीं हो सकती है। फिर आयुर्वेद में आहार का क्या समय है, तो योग रत्नाकर में इसको मेंशन किया गया है, सेकंड प्रहर ऑफ द डे, अर्थात सुबह 9 से 12 बजे और सायंकाल में भोजन करना चाहिए। Why these meal time? In morning, our GIT have sufficient mucus to make good batter of meal for proper enzymatic action. तो सुबह का समय जो होता है वह कफ का काल होता है, प्रातः 9 से 12, और उस समय यदि हम मील लेते हैं तो हमारे हमने जो भी आहार सेवन किया है उसका एक अच्छा घोल या बैटर बनता है, जो कि एंजाइम्स के एक्शन के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है और उससे ही हमारा डाइजेशन प्रॉपर होता है। ओनली एंजाइम्स एंड ड्रिंक वाटर इज नॉट सफिशिएंट टू डाइजेस्ट फूड। हम केवल आहार के साथ जल लेना और हमारे शरीर में जो भी एंजाइम्स सीक्रेट हो रहे हैं उस पर निर्भर नहीं रह सकते, हमें एक उचित काल में ही भोजन लेना होता है।
थोड़ा जोर से डॉक्टर साहब, थोड़ा जोर से।
जी सर जी।
और स्लाइड फास्ट।
जी जी। तो यही कारण है कि हम प्रातःकाल भोजन लेते हैं और जिससे म्यूकस की सफिशिएंट क्वांटिटी होती है और हम इजीली डाइजेस्ट कर पाते हैं। फिर ब्रेकफास्ट का समय क्या है? व्हेन यू डोंट हैव लंच इन सेकंड प्रहर ऑफ द डे, यदि हम सेकंड प्रहर अर्थात 9 से 12 के बीच में यदि हम लंच नहीं लेते हैं तो हमको ब्रेकफास्ट जरूर करना चाहिए। यह ब्रेकफास्ट का समय है। अब ब्रेकफास्ट में क्या लेना चाहिए? आज के समय में स्प्राउट्स बहुत प्रचलित है, ओट्स बहुत प्रचलित है, फाफड़ा बहुत प्रचलित है, जूस बहुत लेते हैं या फ्रूट्स बहुत लेते हैं। यह बिल्कुल भी सही नहीं है। इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल एंड कुक्ड फूड, जो कि अग्नि संस्कार युक्त फूड हो, चपाती हो, पराठा हो, पूरी हो, दाल चावल हो, इनको लेना सबसे बेस्ट होता है। इनको ही लेना चाहिए। अदरवाइज जो अन्य मैंने आहार कहे वह जरूरी नहीं है या अच्छे नहीं है, यदि आप अपनी हेल्थ को अच्छा रखना चाहते हैं। फिर अब वार्म फूड क्यों जरूरी है? वाई वार्म फूड, वाई नॉट ठंडा ठंडा कूल कूल? अभी सर ने बात की कि मुकुंद सबनीश सर ने, कि फॉरेन कंट्रीज में ठंडा आहार लेते हैं या वो कुक करके रख देते हैं, रेफ्रिजरेट कर देते हैं, 5 दिन 7 दिन उसको यूज करते हैं, पर यह बिल्कुल भी अनुचित है। उसका कारण मैं बताना चाहूंगा। क्यों? बिकॉज एवरी केमिकल रिएक्शन इज हैपन्स इन एन ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर। हमारे स्टमक में भी केमिकल रिएक्शंस ही होती हैं जब हमारा फूड डाइजेस्ट होता है। इस बात को हम समझते ही नहीं है। हम बस एक ही बात करते हैं, ये अग्नि की वृद्धि करता है गर्म आहार, उसको समझाते नहीं है। हमारे शरीर के हर एक पार्ट में केमिकल रिएक्शंस ही होती हैं और हर एक केमिकल रिएक्शन के लिए एक ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर होना आवश्यक है, और वह ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर जब होगा तभी वह आहार का पाचन होगा और उसके पश्चात वह सर्कुलेट होगा और एसिमिलेशन होगा। तो इसलिए वार्म फूड आवश्यक है। नाउ वी कम टू अवर मील। एवरी फूड इन अवर प्लेट इज साइंटिफिक। अब आचार्य चरक ने जो जो आहार, नित्य प्रयोजित आहार या डेली लेने के लिए आहार का वर्णन किया है, वह हर एक आहार साइंटिफिक है। उसके बारे में मैं अपने विचार व्यक्त करना चाहूंगा। जैसे
स्लाइटली फास्ट डॉक्टर।
जी जी। जैसे यव या बार्ली का वर्णन किया गया है चरक के द्वारा, तो गुड बैलेंस ऑफ कैलोरी एंड फाइबर, यह कैलोरी और फाइबर का अच्छा बैलेंस होता है। इसलिए आचार्य चरक ने गेहूं की जगह पर यव का वर्णन किया है। अब चपाती क्यों आवश्यक है हमारी प्लेट में? सोर्स ऑफ सस्टेन्ड एनर्जी। चपाती जो होती है वह सस्टेन्ड एनर्जी देती है, सस्टेन्ड रिलीज ऑफ एनर्जी टू गेट एनर्जाइज्ड फॉर ए लॉन्ग टाइम। जो रोटी होती है, हमने सवेरे 10 बजे खाना खाया तो वह हमें शाम को 6 बजे तक ऊर्जा देती रहती है। तो चपाती जो होती है वह सस्टेन्ड एनर्जी देती है। अब हम चावल क्यों लेते हैं? हमारी प्लेट में चावल क्यों है? सोर्स ऑफ इंस्टेंट एनर्जी, इंस्टेंट रिलीज ऑफ एनर्जी। आपने कभी अनुभव किया होगा कि यदि कुकर से निकला हुआ आप रिसेंट कुक्ड चावल खाते हैं तो आपके माथे में पसीना आने लगेगा, आपके स्कल में पसीना आने लगेगा। तो चावल जो है वह इंस्टेंट एनर्जी देता है, आपको तत्काल ऊर्जा देता है, तो इसलिए वह बहुत आवश्यक है। फिर अब मूंग की दाल का वर्णन भी आचार्य चरक ने किया है। वाई माश और ओड़ा दिस नॉट गुड वेर इज इट इज बल्य वृश्य वातहर एंड उष्ण। अब मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा कि चरक ने उड़द का वर्णन क्यों नहीं किया, जबकि ये बल्य है, वृश्य है, वातहर है, उष्ण है। उन्होंने इसलिए इसका वर्णन नहीं किया क्योंकि यह गुरु होती है, हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट होती है, इसको पचाया नहीं जा सकता है, या बहुत लेस क्वांटिटी में लेनी होगी, और लेस क्वांटिटी में आहार लेना भी हमारे लिए हानिकारक होता है।
सर आवाज कम आ रहा है, थोड़ा आवाज बढ़ाओ।
जी जी, आवाज बढ़ाऊं? सर मैं डायरेक्टली बोलता हूँ, 1 मिनट में ईयरफोन निकाल के, तब शायद अच्छी आए। मूंग दाल का डिस्क्रिप्शन इसलिए आचार्य चरक ने किया बिकॉज मूंग दाल इज नॉट वेरी स्निग्ध और वेरी रुक्ष। तो दालों में जो चने की दाल है वह बहुत रुक्ष है, या अन्य दालें हैं जो बहुत रुक्ष है। उड़द की दाल बहुत अधिक स्निग्ध है या हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट है। चने की दाल भी हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट है क्योंकि वह रुक्ष होती है। इसलिए आचार्य चरक ने मूंग दाल का डिस्क्रिप्शन किया है कि इसे डेली यूज करना चाहिए। ठीक है सर, अब आवाज ठीक है?
थोड़ा कम आ रहा है
जी। फिर नेक्स्ट, तक्र और डाइल्यूटेड योगर्ट, व्हेन फ्रेश कर्ड इज मिक्स्ड विद हाफ और 1/4 ऑफ वाटर इट इज कॉल्ड तक्र। आयुर्वेद में तक्र का वर्णन किया गया है। यह सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है गृहिणी की कंडीशन में, स्प्रू की कंडीशन में, या पाइल्स की कंडीशन में, या इंडाइजेशन की कंडीशन में। जबकि जनरली जो हमारे डॉक्टर्स हैं वह तक्र और छाछ में डिफ्रेंशिएशन नहीं कर पाते हैं, और वह पेशेंट को बताते भी नहीं है कि कैसे योगर्ट को लेना है। तो यदि योगर्ट में हम हाफ वाटर या 1/4 वाटर ऐड करते हैं तब वह तक्र कहलाता है, अदरवाइज वह छाछ कहलाता है। जनरली मोस्ट आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर प्रिस्क्राइब छाछ। यदि हम दही में एक्सेस वाटर ऐड कर देते हैं तो वह छाछ होता है, और वह पित्त की पोटेंसी को कम कर सकता है, अर्थात हमारी पाचन शक्ति को कम कर सकता है। यदि पित्त के डाइल्यूशन बढ़ जाएगा तो उसकी इंटेंसिटी कम हो जाएगी, या उष्ण गुण कम हो जाएगा, और वह डाइजेशन प्रॉपर नहीं करेगा। यही कारण है कि हमको छाछ ना देकर के उसको तक्र देना चाहिए। फिर अभी मैंने स्प्राउट्स की भी बात की कि स्प्राउट्स आजकल बहुत प्रचलन में है, लोग लेते हैं। तो स्पेसिफिकली सुश्रुत ने इसके बारे में डिस्क्राइब किया, विदाही गुरु विष्टम्बी दृष्टि दूषणम। तो ये हाइपर एसिडिटी क्रिएट करता है, हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट है, कॉन्स्टिपेशन क्रिएट करता है, बैड फॉर विजन है। तो यह स्प्राउट ऐसे लोगों को लेना चाहिए जो बहुत ज़्यादा लेबोरियस हैं, जो बहुत एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, जिनका डाइजेशन बहुत अच्छा है, जिनका फीकल मूवमेंट केवल दिन में 1 बार टॉयलेट होता है सवेरे उठते ही। यदि 2-3 बार टॉयलेट हो रहा है इसका मतलब इंडाइजेशन है, और ऐसे लोग यदि स्प्राउट्स लेंगे तो उनका डाइजेशन कभी भी ठीक नहीं होगा, और ग्रेजुअली वे डायबिटीज हो सकता है, उनको अर्थराइटिस हो सकता है, हार्ट डिजीज हो सकता है। फिर यवक और ओट्स, चरक mentioned it as not to use daily because it is very mucilaginous और स्निग्ध, so not good for अग्नि और डाइजेशन। तो यवक और ओट का ये भी बहुत प्रचलन में है आजकल हमारे ब्रेकफास्ट में। यह यूजुअली यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में के लायक आहार है, और चरक ने इसे नित्य सेवन करने के लिए रिस्ट्रिक्ट किया है कि इसको नहीं लेना चाहिए क्योंकि अति स्निग्ध होता है, हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट होता है, जबकि यह प्रचलन में बहुत ज्यादा है। फिर चटनी और डिपिंग सॉस, तो मैं यहाँ बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि आयुर्वेद में वर्णित हर एक आहार बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। चरक मेंशन द चटनी और ऑफ आम एंड आमलकी, मैंगो एंड गूसबेरी चटनी जो है, या डिपिंग सॉस जो है, यह भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और इसके बहुत से फायदे हैं। इसी तरह आमलकी को भी नित्य प्रयोजित आहार में चरक ने वर्णन किया है। सभी नोज कि यह बहुत अच्छा रेजुविनेटिंग हर्ब है। फिर अगला है सेंधव लवण। सेंधव लवण बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि इसमें 97% NaCl के अलावा बहुत सारे यूजफुल मिनरल्स भी होते हैं जो कि हमारे हार्ट रेट को कंट्रोल करने के लिए, जो हमारे ब्लड प्रेशर को कंट्रोल करने के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे मैग्नीशियम है, पोटेशियम है। ऐसे बहुत सारे मिनरल्स हैं जो इसमें होते हैं। इसीलिए नॉर्मल NaCl के अलावा हमको सिंधव लवण का डेली यूज करना चाहिए। अब घृत 2012 से पहले तक इसको बहुत हार्मफुल कहा जाता था, अब इसको सुपर फूड कहा जाने लगा है। इट ऑल्सो मेक्स अ गुड इमल्शन ऑफ आवर मील फॉर प्रॉपर एंजाइमेटिक एक्शन फॉर डाइजेशन। यदि हमारा आहार घृत युक्त होगा, यदि हमारा दाल चावल, हमारी रोटी यदि घृत युक्त होगी, तो हमारा आहार रस जो होगा वह एक अच्छा इमल्शन होगा और वह एंजाइमेटिक एक्शन के लिए परफेक्ट होगा, जिससे हमारा डाइजेशन अच्छा हो सके। इसको मैं एक एग्जांपल से समझाना चाहूंगा। इमेजिन इफ यू आर हंग्री एंड हैव वन चॉइस बिटवीन रोस्टेड ग्राम ऑन योर प्लेट और राइस विद दाल एंड इनफ घी, व्हाट विल यू चूज एंड व्हाट हैपन आफ्टर ईटिंग स्टमक फुल ऑफ चनक। यदि आपको आहार में केवल चणक का सेवन कराया जाए तो क्या होगा? वह फ्लैचुलेंस क्रिएट कर सकता है, वह इंडाइजेशन क्रिएट कर सकता है, अगले दिन आपको कॉन्स्टिपेशन हो सकता है। परंतु यदि आपके आहार में राइस है, विद दाल है, विद इनफ है, मतलब सेमी सॉलिड आहार है, वह घृत के साथ है, तो वह ज्यादा बेटर होगा आपकी डाइजेशन के लिए, आपके शरीर के लिए। अब एक अगला आहार है खिचड़ी। खिचड़ी का भी आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ किया जाता है और मैं अपने बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को इसको यूज़ कॉशियसली करने के लिए कहता हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत सारे डायबिटिक पेशेंट, अर्थराइटिस के पेशेंट, इंडाइजेशन के पेशेंट या पाइल्स के पेशेंट यूज़ करते हैं। यह हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट होता है। इसको क्लियरली हमारे टेक्स्ट में डिस्क्राइब किया गया है कि यह गुरु होती है, मूत्रल होती है, और बहुत से लोग इसको अपने ब्रेकफास्ट में भी यूज करते हैं। तो ऐसा ना करें, वे लोग इसको यूज करें जिनका डाइजेशन बहुत अच्छा है, जो बहुत एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, वे ही यूज करें। अदरवाइज इन कंडीशन में ही खिचड़ी का सेवन करें। व्हेन यू आर वेरी टायर्ड, जब आप बहुत थके हुए हो, आपकी इंटेस्टाइनल मूवमेंट अच्छी नहीं हो, तो आप थोड़ी खिचड़ी ले सकते हैं। इन विंटर्स व्हेन पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट इज डिक्रीज्ड, या फिर आपको दस्त लग रहे हो या डायरिया हो, उस कंडीशन में खिचड़ी लेना चाहिए। दलिया के साथ भी सेम यही है कि यह भी हैवी टू डाइजेस्ट होता है, इसको अधिक मात्रा में नहीं लेना चाहिए या रोज नहीं लेना चाहिए। फिर मंड के बारे में भी, जो राइस सूप है, यह व्हेन यू आर वेरी टायर्ड, यदि आप बहुत ज़्यादा थकान युक्त हैं, तो आप इसका यूज़ कर सकते हैं। फीवर हो, अग्निमांद्य हो, एनी क्रॉनिक डिजीज हो, व्हेन यू वांट टू गिव इंस्टेंट एनर्जी और फास्टर रिकवरी इन एनी डिजीज, तो मंड का यूज़ इन कंडीशंस में करना चाहिए। अदरवाइज बहुत से लोग फीवर में दलिया और खिचड़ी का यूज़ करते हैं, वह नहीं करना चाहिए। मंड या राइस सूप को यूज करना चाहिए फीवर में। लास्टली मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि वाटर को सेव कीजिए और अवॉइड यूज ऑफ पॉलीथीन। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much, Dr. Niranjan. Thank you very much. Dr. Madan sir.
Pawan ji, thank you. Niranjan ji, thank you so much for joining us from Ujjain. Ujjain, you have shared a lot of details and also आपकी historic connection Ujjain की तरफ से, in that I always say in our sessions that Ujjain is also home for Sandeepani Muni आश्रम। तो हमें ले चलो सबको उस तरफ, आपकी तरफ। Thank you. Please connect with us, क्योंकि your college and the input is important for our institution, our network. So thank you for contribution today. Magar, don't forget कि Ujjain is very important in our map of Ayurveda. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing. आपने बहुत चीज बताया, बार्ली वगैरह उसके ऊपर. We have to discuss this further. I am grateful you could join us today. थोड़ा सा आपका माइक्रोफोन की आवाज शायद कंप्यूटर की सेटिंग चेंज करनी पड़ती है जी. I think that is where the problem was. But कंप्यूटर के अंदर शायद एक सेटिंग है वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल की, शायद वहां पे गलती. But we could listen to you. It was slightly difficult, but we could understand everything. So thank you, Namaskar ji. Thank you so much for being with us. Please stay, क्योंकि 3-4 सवाल है अग्नि मंडिया के ऊपर, थोड़ा इसके ऊपर थोड़ा चर्चा होनी है जी इसके बाद. थैंक यू पवन जी. Thank you so much for bringing so many people to the platform today. Our third speaker today, I hope will enlighten us a little more about many other aspects about food and related matters that our previous speakers have touched on briefly. And we look forward to Pawanji. I hope Soumya ji is here with us today.
Yes, sir.
Soumya ji, namaskar.
Yes, sir.
So happy that you are joining us today from Chennai, very important college there. Please, if you tell us a little bit more about your college before you start your presentation, 8 minutes, just 1 minute for everybody here and the listeners on YouTube. Thoda sa, if you can tell us a little bit about your college and a little bit about the establishment, then I think many listeners on YouTube in many locations will learn a little more about what is happening in Chennai. Thank you so much for joining us today. We welcome you to the session.
Okay, sir.
The other point is there are many perspectives about food that come from different parts of India. I wish we had somebody from Rajasthan today because their perspective on food will be different. The same with Haryana, there will be a slightly different perspective.
मदन जी, मैं राजस्थान का प्रतिनिधित्व करूंगा.
हाँ जी,
नमस्ते,
बताओ जी, थोड़ी
हाँ, जब आप मौका देंगे, जब मौका देंगे
डिस्कशन में
बिहार से भी होना चाहिए, फिर तो बिहार से भी होना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
बहुत बढ़िया जी, शाबाश. We will listen to Soumya ji first, and then in our discussion, Kamlesh ji, Bihar wale sare please contribute. Kerala wale to hai hi nahi aaj, pata nahi. So many perspectives on food. Soumya ji,
sir, I'm audible, sir.
You're audible, but we can't see your screen. If you are sharing your screen, then.
Okay. So first of all, I'm very thankful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity, and especially Sharma sir for giving me an opportunity to speak in this platform. So first of all, sir asked me to tell about my college. Actually, I'm from Sri Jayendra Saraswati College in Chennai. Actually, it is related to under the guidance of Kanchi Kamakodi Madham. It is functioning. So Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Vishwa Mahavidyalaya is our university, and under the it is a deemed university, and under this our college is functioning, and we are having PG departments in 5 subjects, and we are handling many patients related to almost all sectors of diseases. And so our Mahaperiyar, I think he will bless us in this occasion. So I think let me start my presentation, sir.
Thank you.
So 1 minute, sir. Whether my screen is visible, sir?
Vanakkam, Soumya.
Oh, thank you, sir. So
not yet, your screen is not visible, but while you're trying to put the screen, organize the screen, one question for you, a quick question. How many beds in your hospital, in your college?
Actually, 150 bedded hospital, sir.
What is the occupancy? Is it
now actually 30 or 40, like that it is occupied. It depends on season also, sir. And because sometimes it will be less, but sometimes it will be more. All departments actually it is functioning.
One last question. What are the common conditions? But you can leave it for after your presentation. We will leave that last question, common conditions. But you can leave it for after your presentation. We are keen to see your presentation.
Okay. I don't know what happened to my.
Is the presentation displaying on your computer?
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
That's right. Can I ask 2 or 3 more questions while you are playing with your?
Sir.
Now, how fluent are you in Tamil? Can you read and write Tamil?
Sorry, sir.
Are you fluent in Tamil, reading, writing?
Now, actually, basically, I'm from Kerala, sir. Now, actually, I understand Tamil, and now I am reading also Tamil, but not able to write because.
Thank you. There are many more questions. We will take that after your presentation. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Soumya, if you, thank you. Good, looks very good.
Okay. So my topic of presentation, everybody knows, that is say no to fast food. So let's see, what should we eat? Eat the right food. So before that, let's go to the importance of Annam. So from Vedas itself, the importance of wholesome diet has been mentioned. In Chandakya Upanishad, we can see that is Antakarana Shuddhi is happened by taking food. That is pure Anna, wholesome diet should be followed. Then Antakarana Shuddhi means intellect, mind and soul will be purified by the Anna. So in Atharva Vedam, it is mentioned that Tvam Odanam Prashi, Tvam Odanaiti, that is you eat Anna or it will eat you. That is, if you have no control on your food, it will eat you. That is, it will destroy you. Like that, it is mentioned in Atharva Veda. And in some temples of Puri, we can see that Annabhodam is mentioned. That is, different types of 56 types of dishes are there with different types of herbal preparations and with very hygienically they are producing it with face mask and all they are putting and with very hygienic they prepare. So these all things implies the importance of very wholesome and healthy diet and hygiene also they are mentioning. So in Ayurveda, Annam is Vrittikaranam Shreshtam. That is for sustenance of life, Annam is needed. And Acharyas mentioned that Guna Sampanna Aharam is needed. That is with all quality, we should take Aharam. It should not be Guna Hina. So let's see what is unwholesome food. That is Ahita Ahara Upayogam Puna Vyadhikarana. Acharyas mentioned that if you are taking Ahita Ahara, it leads to disease. So these all things have relevance now. So let's see. So now we know that everybody in a past life. So by that, fast food also come to existence. So what is fast food? That is, fast food means easily prepared and processed food. And otherwise it is called as ready to use as form as a quick meal. And another term is junk food. That is high in calories and but low in nutritional content. That is, it is not having proper vitamins, carbohydrates, minerals and all. So that is, it is called as HFSS food. That is high in fat, salt and sugar. So these all things are now we are consuming. Let's see. So what is the health hazards which it is causing? So it contains excess sugar. So by that what will happen? That is dopamine surge will happen. So the person who's taking by seeing, by thinking and by eating, he will develop an addictive behavior to take excess and more and more. Then it is not lacking essential, it is lacking essential nutrients. So what will happen due to this lack of energy person will develop. And fiber is not also there. That is lack of fiber. So it will not stay long. So what will happen by that? The person will develop hunger, repeated hunger. Then he will take some snack and repeatedly his snacking leads to metabolic disorders like obesity and diabetes and all. Then excess processing is it like maida and all white food. So it is having high glycemic index. So that also leads to high blood glucose level and leads to metabolic disease also. Then excess fat and salt is there. So what happens by that? It leads to irritant to gastric mucosa because excess hydrochloric acid will be secreted and person leads to gastritis and all. Then next is they are adding additives and preservatives and color. So that is why it is carcinogenic. So many health hazards it is causing. Then one more topic is that McDonaldization. That we know the brand McDonald. So it is mentioning that apart from actually McDonaldization means the process by which the principles of fast food restaurant are coming to dominate more and more sectors of rural as well as urban world. That is, their motto is like that to open fast food restaurant. But apart from McDonald's, and we know that many other companies are opening this fast food restaurant and all. So a study was conducted by some engineering students in the McDonaldization. That is, they are telling that McDonaldization and changing philosophy of food culture in post-modern Kerala society they have done. So the conclusion was McDonaldization has dramatic effect on traditional food habits by intermixing food items and eating styles, because we already have a staple food. So that is changed by this fast food world. So this cultural intermixing adversely affects interpersonal relationship as well as family and social relationship also. So only we know that about the health hazards, but they are telling that apart from that, interpersonal relationship as well as family and social relationship also affected by this fast food culture. So let's see what is ideal as well as junk food as per Ayurveda. So we know that yadannam deha dhatojo balavarnadi poshanam, the food which is able to nourish the deham, dhatu, ojas and bala. That is the ideal food actually as per Ayurveda. But what happens once we take the ahara which is unable to nourish dhatu and ojas, all this we can classify it under the junk food category. So what will happen by consuming this, dosha kopana will happen, dosha dhatu, all dushti will happen. So and as well as the agni, also agni mandhyam also will happen. So the annam should be able to nourish deham, dhatu, ojas and bala. Then only we can say it is a good annam as per Ayurveda. So if it does not come under the category of that property, we can say that it is junk food. So other examples, that is Acharya is telling that Vishushtam, Vishtambi, Viruddham, Ushnikritam Puna, that is reheated food, Atilavanam, etc. should be avoided. So these all things come under the category of junk food, that is Vishushkam, this spicy and dried food, Vishtambi, that is just not having any nutritional value like potatoes, sweet potato and all. Only carbohydrates and gas forming also. Then Viruddham, that is the combination is chicken and honey combination. So this honey chicken, it will be available in a restaurant. So Ushnegritam Puna, reheated food. We are keeping the refrigerator and ready to eat food. Atilavanam, excess salt. So all this comes under the junk food category as per Ayurveda. Then what will happen if we take, Acharya is telling it is causing Vanni Vyapat. So we know that this Vanni is needed for the metabolic transformation of Ahara into Panchamabhaudika body. So it leads to, these all junk food leads to Vanni Vyapat. That is the main problem related to this all sort of food. So health hazards as per Ayurveda, let's see. That is in the context of Viruddhahara, Acharya is mentioning Kushtham Visarpam, all the skin disorders, then congenital anomaly, as well as infertility. We are encountering all this infertility cases and genetic abnormality, even up to progeny, it is causing health hazards. So these all things under the context of Viruddha, Acharya is mentioning, but it is applicable now in the context of junk food also. So let's see, now we now understand what is the wrong diet. So let's see what is healthy diet. So as per WHO, they are mentioning that it should contain fruit, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. All things should be unprocessed maize, millets, oats, wheat, and brown rice. And 400 grams of food, that's 5 portions of fruits and vegetables per day. And it is excluding potatoes, sweet potatoes, and other starchy foods. And free sugars also, maximum up to 11 teaspoons. And less than 30% of total intake of non-saturated fatty acids. And salt also very minimal, that is 5 grams of salt. So that is 1 teaspoon equivalent per day. So this is the healthy diet or ideal diet as per WHO. So we know that different types of diet, because now YouTube is dominating everywhere, and we can see now patients are also under different types of diet. That is Mediterranean diet is there, Paleo diet, Keto diet, low carb diet. So let's see what is this Mediterranean diet. That is highly plant-based diet, and it contains almost all plant-based things, fruits, vegetables and grains, fish, meats and sweets, and olive oil is the processing medium, and it is avoiding unprocessed or means processed, highly processed food. It is excluding. So actually now researchers are telling that it is the comparatively better diet. Mediterranean diet is the better diet than other diet. Then next is Paleo diet. Paleo diet means it contains meat, lean meat, fish and fruits and vegetables. That is like Paleolithic area, what our ancestors consumed. And it limits the intake of these pulses, cereals and dairy products. So the problem with this is calcium deficiency will set in. Calcium and other nutritional deficiency will happen to the patient. The next is keto diet. That is high fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate. That is almost 20 to 50 grams per day. So by taking this, what happens means, this is actually nutritional ketosis. And by taking this, actually patient for a long time, person will develop steatorrhea and other complications. Then next is low carb diet. For diabetes patients now this diet is following. That is carbohydrate is less than 130 grams per day. But difference between keto and low carb means in keto actually it is very low carb diet only. That is 20 to 50 grams per day only they are taking. And low carb means less than 130 grams per day. From all this we can understand that the modern system is based on calories. So what is our Ayurveda is telling? So we know that dravyam is classified into three. Likewise, ahara dravyam we can classify into three. That is shamanam, kopanam, and swasthahidam. So shamana means comes under the category of vyadhi shamana ahara. That is specific diet pertaining to disease. That is prameha patyam, kushta patyam. These all comes under the category of shamana. The next is kopana. So dosha kopana. These all junk foods come under the category of kopana diet. That's food causing dosha kopanam, dhatu pradushanam. These all comes under junk food comes under the category of kopana. Then swasthahidam. That is healthy diet for a healthy person for preservance of health. That is the swasthahidam. That is the ideal diet as per our classics. Because already we understand about the wrong diet. So let's go to the right diet. What is should be right? So Acharya is mentioning that Nitya Upayogam, what should be taken daily? Shilet, Shali Godhuma, Yavashashtiga Jangalam. These are the classical reference. That is Shashtiga Shali, that is rice grown in 60 days. Godhuma, wheat, Yavam or barley, Mudgam, green gram, Shamidhanam, Saindhavam, rock salt, and Amalaki, that is Amalaki, Draksha, Dadimam, gooseberry, grapes, and pomegranate. Under rainwater. Then cow ghee as well as cow milk, honey, meat of animals from arid land. This is the ideal diet as per Ayurveda. So we can, while looking into this, we can understand that it contains almost carbohydrate. If you are counting on based on calories, we can understand that it contains carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fat, and minerals. So it is actually a balanced diet. So Shashtiga Shali, Godhumam, and Yavam comes under the category of Shuga Dhanyam. Muddam comes under the category of Shami Dhanyam. Saindhavam is salt, and Amalagi is Thalam. That is, fruits are there, water, then Gridam and Sheeran, fat is there, and Madhu, sugar, fructose, and all, Jangala Mamsam, so meat. All these things are there. So how do we take this? So Acharya is mentioning that there is a specific order to take food. That is Madhuram, Amla Lavanam, Kadutikta Kashaya. So Madhuram means we can take initially while taking food, we can take, that is laddu, then all gulab jam, all this kheer and all. That is the initial food that we have to take. Second is Amla Lavanam. So in that category, now what we are taking usually Sambar Rasam. Actually that is Amla Lavanam and all. Third category, after that we have to take Kadutikta Kashaya. Why this order? Because Madhuram, that is for making Pakvashegada Vata Shamana. Then next, once Vata undergoes Shamanam, we can go for Amla Lavana. So to kindle the Agni, we are giving Amla Lavana Ahara. Then Kadutikta Kashayam last we are opting because to stabilize Kapha. And Bhapradash Acharya is mentioning that Bhojanagre Sadapatyam Lavanadraga Bhojanam. That is Bhakshanam. So Lavanam and Adragam. So if a person is not having that much hunger, he can take Lavanam and Adragam initially. So definitely it will kindle the fire. Then next is Bhojana Ante. Bhojana Ante, what we will do take, that is Takram. Definitely it is having Kashaya Rasam also. So that is Acharya's version. And finally, if patient has taken this all aharam, he is mentioning that you should take some karpuram, lavangam, because tambula sevanam is indicated. Why? Because to stabilize that kabha, because bhojana andam, just after taking food, kabha will increase. So to stabilize that, Acharya is mentioning, That is Bhojana Antam, you have to take Tambulam because it is having Kashaya Rasam and all, Padipikta Kashaya Rasam and all. So it will subside your Kaba Vardhanam after food. So this is, and while taking also, only 2 Annagalam Acharya is mentioning, that is 2 times, morning and evening. So in between, how long should be the gap? 3 hours, 1 yamam. So minimum 3 hours, and it should not exceed more than 6 hours. So it will lead to Dhadukshayan. So this is the Nitya Upayoga diet and what we should follow while taking food. Then, so method of intake. So we know that in Shali Vargam, Shashtigam is there. Then, so in that, how it should be taken? That is, it should be taken, this rice variety should be taken after boiling and draining the water once it is cooked. Then only it will become Laghu. Otherwise, it will become Guru and it will not be able to digest. So once you pressure cooker food, it will become Guru. So next is Shamidhanya. So Shamidhanya means Mudgam is the Mudgam, Masham, all these pulses and legumes comes under the category of Shamidhanya. So we know that once we take, we will develop gaseous formation. So that is why Acharya is mentioned, it is also excess Yukshadhya. So how we should consume? So it should be consumed with sneham. So that is why we are taking dal and all with ghee. So that is why importance of Shamidhanya. Then next is Harita Shaka. Harita Shaka means all vegetables as well as leafy vegetables come under the category of this. That is, in that itself, Shile Vastugam should be spinach, should be taken daily. So how we should take this? It should be consumed after boiling in water and then drained and then fried in ghee. Like we take palak and all. So we will just boil it and the water should be drained and then we will fry in ghee. That is the usual pattern of intake of Harita Shaka. Then Kshiram. That is, Kshiram is good for the Chayaja Rogam and all. But Acharya is telling when we should take. If we are taking Vidahya Aharam, we can take milk to prevent that is gastric irritation. Usually once we consume all this Kadu Rasa Aharam, chili and all, definitely the person will feel this gastritis and all. So if it is continuing for a long time, it will cause gastritis and other disease. So that is why if you are taking Kadu Aharam, especially these chilies and all, because Amla Lavanam we cannot take, only the Kadu Aharam we can take. So then we can go for milk to prevent gastric irritation. Then Lavanam, already we mentioned that Lavanam, Lavana Ardragam for appetizer. So we know that as an appetizer with ginger before food and as well as additive in food, Lavanam can be taken. Then Dadima. So Dadima can be taken during starting of meal because some fruits should be avoided during starting of meal. But Dadima can be taken because it is Amla Pradhanam and it will aggravate Agni, increase Agni. So then another important fruit that is Amalagam. Amalagam, we know that it's a concentrated source of vitamin C and it can be taken before, during and end of food. This is the only fruit as well as only food which can be taken before, during and end of meal. That is very, very important because that much importance Acharya has given to Amalagam. So whether, let's see, so now we understand about the ideal food and all. So whether it is equal to all, that is whether any variability in nutritional requirements, let's see. That is, we know that it varies from individual to individual. That is, our nutritional requirement vary from individual to individual. So what are things it will depend on? That is Desha, geography of residence. So if you are taking one food from Western country, it is not good for us. Actually, whatever food or fruits grown here, that is actually satmin for us, that is actually beneficial for us. Then Kalam, time also, 2 Annagalam is mentioned. So in that time itself, if you are taking, then we are feeling hungry. And Bhavaprakash is telling, even though 2 Annagalam is mentioned, you can consume food when you are feeling hungry. That is very important. Otherwise, it will lead to Dhadu Bhagam, Dhadu Kshem and that. Then Vayas, phase of life, different nutrition aspect will be needed in different age. For Balam it is different. Then Vardhakam it is different. So these all things depends on individual to individual. Then Ritu, season also. So season wise different food categories are mentioned. That is in rainy season, we should take panchagolam with water to kindle Agni. And in winter season, we should take with Ghridam, because at that time Agni Dipya is very high. So these all things are there. Then Prakriti depends on different Prakriti. That is Pitta Prakriti. Some aharam should not be taken. They have to avoid Kapha Prakriti. So these all things depends on individual to individual. Then last but not least, very, very important, Agni. Whatever you are taken, it depends on your Agni. It depends on your Agni digestive capacity. And that is, once you take the food, then only, that is, it depends on Bhutagni, Jadaragni, as well as Dhatagni. So let's find out, that is, we know that we are what we eat. But my conclusion is, we are everything, our depends on our Agni only. That is Bhutagni, Jadaragni, and Dhatagni. So thank you. Once again, thank you for the organization.
Thank you, Soumya ji. Thank you so much. You have raised some very, very key points again. Your last statement is extremely important. This concept of Agni is so well understood in Ayurveda, perhaps even in Siddha meds, and perhaps even in Unani systems, this concept of digestive health. And this is a big problem. And when we look at food and aspects of food that's discussed, I'm sitting here in Europe. In Europe, the question they always ask is, how many of those ideas, rich ideas in Ayurveda, can be brought to the West? If we have colleagues, Tina joins us from Sweden, for instance. Tina ji sits in Sweden, where in the winter months, there is barely sunshine. There may be 2 or 3 hours of sunshine. It is cold. How do we adjust to those conditions? So this issue about desha and how to modify and all this is important. And this overlaps with the idea of regional, traditional, seasonal foods that you have touched on. I thank you. I don't know if Pawanji wants to add, but we have collected many ideas today from the first speaker onwards. Very rich ideas, some very rich questions. Harish ji, who is joining us from Toronto, he has left us, but he has left us with a very important question in the chat box. I leave the floor to Pawanji to tell us where to go next. Pawanji, namaskar.
We can go for an open session, sir.
Open session, chalo ji. So, Pawanji, thank you. So that is what we will do now. We open the floor for questions. We have senior people like Kamlesh ji joining us from Rajasthan.
Kamlesh ji, yes, sir. Sorry.
Pranam ji.
आदरणीय कमलेश जी।
जी नमस्कार।
नाम याद दिला दिया आपने, नहीं तो मेरी धृष्टता होती। सॉरी।
अरे नहीं, ये आपका बड़ा स्नेह है। आदरणीय मदन जी, पवन जी, मैं किसी भूमिका के सीधे समय की सीमा को देखते हुए रखूंगा। गलती से हुआ क्या, हमारी धारणा ये बन गई कि पश्चिम ने जो कहा वो सब बहुत बढ़िया है, जो हमारे पास है वो सब बेकार है। इस कारण से हमने अपनी भाषा छोड़ी, हमने अपनी भूषा छोड़ी, हमने अपना भोजन छोड़ा, हमने अपनी भजन छोड़े, हमने अपनी भक्ति छोड़ी, और उस कारण से आज हम इतनी परेशानी में हैं। इसलिए भोजन का जब प्रसंग चल रहा है तो एक संदर्भ जरूर दूंगा। मैं कुछ पंक्तियां कोट करता हूं, उससे आपको एक व्यक्तित्व का ध्यान आएगा, एक डिवाइन जो शक्ति उसका ध्यान आएगा। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि और विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर और अतुलित बल धामा। ये जिस व्यक्तित्व के लिए कहा गया है, ऐसे हमारे सबके श्रद्धेय स्मरणीय है। हनुमान जी को भोग किसका लगता है राजस्थान में? उनको भोग लगता है गुड़ और चने का, यानी ब्लैक ग्राम, रोस्टेड ब्लैक ग्राम और गुड़। आप ये देखे संसार में इससे बढ़कर कोई न्यूट्रिशियस डिश हो ही नहीं सकती, जिसमें शुग धान्य, समित धान्य, आपके सारे सब कुछ जितने माइंस मिनरल जितने चाहिए वो सब मिल जाते हैं उसमें। उस भगवान को ये गुड़ और चना प्रतीक रूप में जब भोजन के लिए, भोग के लिए लगाते हैं, तो फिर हमको बल बुद्धि विद्या और अतुलित बल धाम ये सब एक साथ प्राप्त होते हैं। फिजिकल एज वेल एज मेंटल, सब प्रकार के ज्ञान कर्मेंद्रियों से लेकर शरीर सत्व आत्मा का पोषण करने वाला भोजन इसको हमको प्राप्त होता है। इसे उसको हमने भुला दिया। आज गलती से गुड़ चने का प्रसाद कोई देता नहीं, देता है तो कोई लेता नहीं, लेता है तो कोई खाता नहीं, और उस कारण से उन डेफिशिएंसी से आज हम भोग रहे हैं। क्योंकि मैं राजस्थान से हूं, राजस्थान की भौगोलिक स्थिति इस प्रकार की है कि यहाँ 2 महीने 1.5 महीने मुश्किल से कभी बारिश होती थी और ऐसे में उसी से अपना जीवन यापन करना होता था। और राजस्थान के प्रवासी लोग संसार भर में, देश भर में तो ही है, संसार भर में है। आज तो यातायात के इतने साधन हो गए कि लंच करके कोई व्यक्ति निकलेगा तो डिनर टाइम पर अपने डेस्टिनेशन पर 10-20 हजार किलोमीटर की यात्रा करके भी पहुंच जाएगा। लेकिन राजस्थान के सीकर जिले के लौसल से निकल करके सिक्किम के जोरथांग में या असम के डिब्रूगढ़ में निकलने वाला व्यक्ति 5 दिन तक घर से यात्रा में रहता था और वो देशी घी के दूध में साने हुए पराठे और आम का सरसों के तेल में बना हुआ अचार वो 5 दिन के लिए लेकर जाता था साथ में। और मजाल क्या उसमें फंगस लग जाए, मजाल क्या उसमें कुछ दुर्गंध हो जाए। इतना न्यूट्रिशियस, इतना स्वादिष्ट, एक बोगी में अचार और पराठे की पोटली खोलने पर पीछे चलने वाली बोगी तक उसकी खुशबू आती थी। और रास्ते भर में स्थान स्थान का पानी पीते हुए भी उस जल से जो दोष हो सकता था उस सब का निवारण स्वतः ही हो जाता। ऐसा हमारा पारंपरिक खाना था। आज जिसे फास्ट फूड हम कह रहे हैं, झुंझुनू जिले के चिड़ावा गांव में बनने वाला पेड़े को 3 महीने बाद भी गर्म पानी में घोलकर रोते हुए बच्चे को दूध के रूप में पिलाकर भूख शांत की जा सकती है। यहां तक कि दूध मिल नहीं रहा है, कहीं अचानक मेहमान घर में आ जाए तो घर में रखे हुए उस पेड़े को गर्म पानी में घोल करके उसे चाय भी बनाई जा सकती है। इससे फास्ट फूड और क्या होगा, इससे प्रिजर्व फूड क्या होगा, जिसमें कोई एडिटिव नहीं है, जिसमें कोई अडल्ट्रेशन नहीं है, जिसमें कोई प्रिजर्वेटिव नहीं है। राजस्थान की धरती पर यह कला विकसित हुई है परिस्थितियों के कारण। राजस्थान के मंगोड़ी और पापड़ सारे संसार में जाने जाते हैं। सीजन में जब मूंग आए भिगो करके पीस कर डाल करके थोड़ा मसाला मिलाकर उनकी मंगोड़ी बना ली, जब चाहे तब इंस्टेंट। कोई सब्जी नहीं है घर में, भिंडी नहीं है घर में, घिया नहीं है घर में, कोई और सब्जी नहीं है, मंगोड़ी की तुरंत सब्जी बनती है। ऐसी डेलिशियस डिश हमारे यहाँ बनती है। लोग कहते हैं कि परिस्थितियां ऐसी बनी, लोगों को तुरंत चाहिए। मैं ये कहता हूं कि एक टोस्ट को रोस्ट करने में जितना टाइम लगता है उसमें राजस्थान की एक गृहिणी गुड़ और गेहूं के आटे की लापसी बना देती है। लपसिका कितनी डेलिशियस होती है, कितनी पोषक होती है, आज हमने भुला दिया और हम गलती से इस पश्चिम के बहकाव में आ गए। आज संसार भर में ये विभिन्न प्रकार के डिश बनाने का चलन किसी भी कारण से शुरू हुआ हो, उन सब तथ्यों को, उन मिथकों को स्थापित करने के चला हो, लेकिन पवन जी के नेतृत्व में हम इस अवसर पर हम अपनी भूली हुई थाती का स्मरण भी करें, यह आवश्यकता है। एक दिन ऐसा आएगा जब संसार भर में हम कहेंगे कि इंटरनेशनल बाटी डे है, इंटरनेशनल चूरमा डे है, इंटरनेशनल चकली डे है, इंटरनेशनल पिज्जा डे के स्थान पर इंटरनेशनल हमारा बड़ा डे है। ऐसी स्थितियां जब हम ला देंगे संसार भर में तो मुझे लगता है ये मंच सार्थक होगा। बहुत अधिक कहने के बजाय राजस्थान का प्रसिद्ध कैर सांगरी शमी वृक्ष का फल, उसमें 5-7 ऐसी चीजें जिनकी सब्जी खाओ तो वो औषध का काम करती है। नुकसान तो बहुत दूर की बात है। गलती हमसे ये हुई कि पिछले वर्षों में कुछ हमने आत्मविस्मृति के कारण हम अपनी सब अच्छी बातों को भुला बैठे। ऐसे ऐसे अवसरों पर हम इन सब चीजों का स्मरण करके यदि फिर से व्यवहार में लाते हैं तो मुझे लगता है हमारा यह आयोजन बहुत सार्थक होने वाला है। मुझे में मौका दिया इसलिए संक्षेप में अपना सा निवेदन मैंने कर दिया है। बहुत बहुत आभार मदन जी, खासतौर से आपका। आप हर समय उपलब्ध रहते हैं। पवन जी तो मेरे प्रति बहुत स्नेह रखते हैं और इनके इस आह्वान का धन्यवाद करते हुए मैं अपनी बात पूरी करता हूं। बाकी लोगों को भी मौका मिले। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
कमलेश जी नमस्कार, प्रणाम जी। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर, आपने इतनी ताकत, यू हैव ब्रॉट सो मच एनर्जी जी। यहाँ तक पहुंच गया, कैम्ब्रिज तक पहुंच गया पूरा। आपने जो बताया जी चीज, मेरी तरफ से एक ही है कमलेश जी कि हमारी तरफ से गलती कहाँ हो रहा है, थोड़ा बताओ कि हमारी तरफ से बच्चों को क्यों नहीं सिखा सकते। जो आपने जो बताया चीज, कहाँ हो रहा है जी गलती?
जी मैं यही कह रहा हूं कि हमारे घर की रसोई में से ये व्यवहार जो परंपरा से दादी नानी के माध्यम से अगली पीढ़ी को मिलना चाहिए था, वो चेन ब्रेक हो गई। और इस इम्पोर्टेंस को हमको, अब वो पहले दादी नानी अपने आप एक इंस्टीट्यूशन थी, हमने उन इंस्टीट्यूशंस को खत्म कर दिया और फॉर्मल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को एस्टेब्लिश कर दिया। और फॉर्मल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के क्यूरिकुलम में ये चीजें हैं नहीं वहां। तो परंपरा से, ट्रेडिशनली एक चैन से जो चीजें एक पीढ़ी से दूसरी पीढ़ी में संक्रांत होनी चाहिए थी, वो ब्रेक हो जाने के कारण आज किसी भी नई बनने वाली गृहिणी को इन सब चीजों को पता नहीं होता है। वो ससुराल में भी जाती है तो व्हाट्सएप कॉलिंग करते हुए अपनी माँ से पूछते कि मैं दाल में छौंक कैसे लगाऊं, भिंडी की सब्जी कैसे बनाऊं, जो उसे परंपरा से सीखना चाहिए था। बेशक कैरियर के लिए सब बातें आवश्यक हैं, परंतु कैरियर से ऊपर जीवन है, और जीवन के लिए जो आवश्यक चीजें हैं, जरूरी चीजें हैं, और जो मैं कहता हूं कि हमारे यहाँ तो समाजशास्त्रियों ने कहा भी है कि जो कुछ हमारे यहाँ है वो श्रेष्ठ था, उसको हम युगानुकूल करें, जो कुछ पश्चिम में है उसको हम देशानुकूल करें। तो हमारी अपनी चीज को युगानुकूल करें, जो कुछ बाहर कहीं कुछ है उसको स्वदेशानुकूल करें, और फिर अगर व्यवहार में लाते हैं तो हम इस संसार को जैसे हर फील्ड में नेतृत्व देने की स्थिति में हैं, हमारी रसोई में, हमारी थाली में भी हम संसार को नेतृत्व देने की स्थिति में हैं। बस इस पर व्यावसायिकता हावी न हो, स्वास्थ्य का विचार पहले हो, बाजार के हवाले हम थाली को न करें, पारंपरिक रूप से गुण दोष का विचार करते हुए समय के हिसाब से जिस प्रकार का परिवर्तन परिष्कार करने की आवश्यकता है उसको हम खुले दिल से स्वीकार करते हुए फिर यदि हम आगे बढ़ेंगे तो मुझे लगता है हम सारे संसार को इस क्षेत्र में भी नेतृत्व दे सकते हैं, ऐसा मेरा आत्मविश्वास है जी।
थैंक यू कमलेश जी। मेरी तरफ से एक और विचार है कि आई विश आई कैन स्पीक हिंदी लाइक यू स्पीक। एक अगले जन्म में शायद हो सकती है, मगर डॉक्टर साहब आपकी तरफ से प्लीज स्टे विद अस। आई वांट टू हियर थोड़ा सा विचार। हमारी बिहार से हमारे साथ है जी कोई, शायद आई डोंट नो इफ somebody, उनका नाम। नमस्ते जी, आई वांट टू हियर थोड़ा सा, पता नहीं कौन था हमारे बिहार से, नहीं, इफ नॉट आई वांट टू सी इफ वी कैन गेट, हमारे साथ है जी नीलाक्षी जी और महजबीन जी, नमस्कार। इफ यू वांट टू ऐड थोड़ा सा इस जो कमलेश जी की कंट्रीब्यूशन जो उसके ऊपर, अगर आपकी तरफ से थोड़ा, इफ यू कैन ऐड समथिंग, एंड आई वांट टू देन कम बैक टू सौम्या जी। सौम्या जी, we want to come back to you on some questions about the same thing, young students. What do you see is missing here in this thinking, the food की तरफ से? नीलाक्षी, नमस्कार जी।
Namaskar, sir.
Nilakshi ji is joining us from Guwahati, from the eastern part. She comes from the Guwahati Ayurveda College, which is located on the banks of the Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra, I'm told, is the only river, or one of the only rivers in India that has a male name. The rest of the rivers are named with female names. So this is Putra of Brahma. So Guwahati Ayurveda College is located on the bank of this beautiful river. And Nilakshi ji, please tell us dietary moods and sentiments in Assam, and where things are going wrong that you can see, and where corrections need to be made as suggested by Kamlesh ji.
Yeah, in Assam, if you just want to know about the diet in Assam, it's a very healthy diet. We have rich source of vegetables, green leaves, and people take food in a very well way. We do not add in a very simple way and in a very most scientific way. And we have a lot of tribal belts where people take fresh food, fresh vegetables. The mode of cooking is very different. They don't fry much, they boil. And in different seasons, we have different diet. Like suppose now in winter season, we had Bihu. It's called Bhogat Bihu. So as per the season, we take food. Now in winter season, Ayurveda says that our enzymes, our Agni is very strong and we have to take a rich diet. So now in this season, we have a lot of food items. We make pithas, rice, steamed pithas, then we have till, then we make different preparations, and people enjoy this festival. It is only a festival to eat food and cooked in wood, and it's outside, people enjoy. So it is only for food. And the main aim is that, as Ayurveda says, that after the winter season, we have to prepare our body so that we can face the harsh summer season. So this is the season where people eat food, and we have a lot of food items. And another thing which I want to add, in Ayurveda, you have to take food so that you can increase your tissues. Ras Dhatu, Rakta Dhatu, Mamsa, Meda, Asti, Majja, Sukra, Oja. And in Ayurveda, we have a diet which is different for people. Like a lean, thin person should have Santarpan diet, and a weight heavy person should have Apatarpan. Santarpan means nourishing, Apatarpan means depleting. And our diet is based on guna. Ruksha, Laghu, it is for the Apatarpan. Guru, Snigdha, it is for the Santarpan. So in Assam too, we follow that, and we have a traditional food. And sir, if you get time, you can come to Assam.
Actually, I want to interrupt you here because I want to ask you this question that I asked Kamlesh ji, and that we will continue when Soumya ji comes on. The question is, when you look at your young students in your college, I don't know how many your intake is, 200 students every year. I don't know what Guwahati Ayurveda College intake is every year. Do you see the students being excited about Ayurveda? Do you see that excitement, that they want to understand these deep principles, whether it's food, whether it's health?
Excited. Before, I think, before many batches, they were more interested in modern. But now the students have changed their attitude. They are more interested in Ayurveda, and we have a lot of faculties. And even the food also, the students are very much healthy. They take healthy food. And even in our college canteen, we follow good diet.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelakshi. I want to quickly move to Mahjabeen ji, who's our Unani person joining us from Hyderabad. Mahjabeen ji, the same question for you. When we come into that area of food, how do you people engage both with students, with the community? Are you sensitizing people about the ill aspects, the healthy aspects of food, or the unhealthy aspects of food? This is something. And then after Mahjabeen ji, we come to Soumya ji. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Namaskar, Mahjabeen ji.
Namaste,
thank you for joining us today.
And everyone. Sir, actually nowadays what we are doing, what we are taking for is incompatible food we are mixing. That time, like in olden days, we used to take measures while eating food. Like if you take banana, you have to take in morning. Morning is gold, and afternoon is silver, and evening is copper. Like it is an example. So nowadays, what we are doing, some sour food is we are mixing with milk, and some sour curd milk, like that. That incompatible food is we should not use incompatible food. Like if you are jaggery is sweet, and it increases coldness, and it increases kapha in it, sir. And likewise fish also is incompatible with milk. And like some sour fruits in outside, like in shops, they are making drinks that are also so many drinks are which are incompatible. So, like pomegranate also, it is incompatible with milk.
Thank you, Mahjabeen ji. Thank you. I hope we can learn a little more about the perspectives of food as understood in the Unani systems, because there also the GI tract is given a lot of importance. Most old Hakims would always say, whatever the problem, first treat the gut, treat the intestine,
yes.
Treat this.
We
want treat the liver. We want to come back to this point, but I move to Chennai. Namaskar ji. Soumya ji. Soumya, please tell us a little bit about this student engagements. We are trying in the last two discussions, we've been seeing bachon ko, how to bring young minds into the depth of all these ideas. You know, we have senior people like Kamlesh ji, Agnihotri ji, but they have so much knowledge. How to connect young students from different parts of the world, whether it's Assam, whether it's Chennai, whether it's Kerala, with the senior minds, Kamlesh ji, Agnihotri ji, etc., how to bring them all together so that we can share this knowledge. Also, Shinde ji is here from Pune. Shinde ji, we want a few thoughts from you after Soumya ji.
Okay, sir. What I understand is initially, because they are very curious about Ayurveda, and problem with them is actually Sanskrit knowledge. So how we nurture, that is important, what I understand, because while we studied at that time, many people want to join MBBS, they don't get, then they join. But now the scenario has changed because many people are willingly coming to Ayurveda. And only thing is initially Sanskrit. Then next is once come to, actually I'm teaching finally, once come to final year, what happens if we are showing the result by treatment, definitely they are showing interest. Initially it will take time, but they are showing interest and they are believing. So once seeing and believing is there now. So by seeing, they have belief in Ayurveda and they are practicing purely Ayurveda only. We are practicing, no other management we are adopting actually. So they are believing and they are very much interested now. What I have seen from these past years. So
thank you. Soumya ji, thank you so much. I have one quick question for you. Where did you train? Where did you do your BMS? Did you study?
I have done BMS from Kerala Kannur University and post-graduation from Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda College, Thrissur.
Oh, wonderful. We are lucky to have you with us. Please stay with us.
I'm also lucky to have you, sir.
Your point here about the new generation of young students who are deeply involved and committed to Ayurveda is very important because we have senior members, as I said. I just want to hear from them also, so please stay with us. I want to bring Shinde ji from Pune. Shinde ji, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Shinde ji, namaskar. So happy to see you again. See you from DY Patel, Vidyapeeth. Namaskar ji. Please tell us, आपकी तरफ, आपके पुणे में बच्चों की क्या है आजकल सोच कि आयुर्वेद की तरफ? Is there some, जैसे सोम्या जी ने बताया कि आयुर्वेद की तरफ they are very passionate. अगर हो, फिर हमारी तरफ से गलतियां कहाँ हैं? Where is it that we are missing? थोड़ा सा senior people.
Actually, current generation is behind fast food. But if we inculcate their ideas and their practical problems in our Ayurvedic ways, then they are inclined or they will be tuned easily. So we arrange a lot of teaching sessions, workshops, research projects, some innovations. Then they actively engage in these kind of conditions.
Are you saying we are doing the right things, or are you saying we can do more? Or
we have to go to their level, the students, young minds. Like if they are fond of biscuits, then we have to we are now in the production of ashwagandha or shatavari biscuits. So we have to modify our lifestyles or our dietetic patterns, or we have to make them to change in our ways.
Thank you. Shindeji, Pawanji is organizing an event for the 11th of February, and he is taking us into the world of innovations. I think he will share those details towards the end of the program. And in that, we feel there is an opportunity to take young minds and connect them with innovations. Usme hai ji Anirudh Joshi ji hai aapke Pune se, and he is devising new instruments for measuring physiological changes, which is in a way consistent with Ayurvedic thinking, Nadi, and he is Nadi Tarangani and the Turiya machine, etc. And I feel this might be one area where we can engage young people into this whole thing.
Yes, sir. We are currently engaged in Startup Innovation Cell, and I am given diet in charge of our hospital and in charge of Startup Innovation Cell. And today only I got this opportunity to talk on the Hotel Management Institute. So we are into interdisciplinary dietetics, integrative dietetics. I have published some papers also, but they are just basic, base level, fundamental. But in future, we would like to explore this much. And we have arranged your guest lecture also under Kai Chikitsa department last year.
That's right. I
You
remember
remember.
that one.
Yeah. It was
I
very,
especially point to D.Y. Patel because you are a very large university. You have modern medicine, you have computer science, you have engineering, plus you have everything together in a wonderful campus. So it's a good place to grow some new initiatives. And
so yesterday we got NAC A++ grade with
congrats.
highest score.
Congratulations to you. So here we are. I want to open this up for any other, I think, any other input that we have from so many people who are still here with us. If there are no comments, I want to quickly bring in Rajan Patankarji from Mumbai and then pass the floor to Agnihotriji, perhaps. Who else is here? I can see Seema Kumari. Seema ji, namaskar. Seema ji, namaskar. No, is not here. If there is anybody else who would like to add a few comments based on all of what we have discussed today, the food is central to good health, and the mistakes that are happening in the food area are seen around the world. It's leading to all kinds of complications. There are new ways to measure the impact of immediate impact of food, both using instruments inspired by Ayurvedic thinking like Turiya and Nadi Tarangani, and also using some modern biochemical, microbiological, and genomic techniques like the gut microbiome. And there is a big opportunity to interface those concepts that Soumya ji said about Jataragni and Bhutagni and Dhatwagni. There is a big opportunity for young people to start to come to the fore and develop research projects so that we can start to understand these deep concepts that is there within Ayurveda. Also, the need for understanding Swasthavrit. I would say Rajan Patankarji, who's here, is very dear to me. We discuss frequently. He teaches me about many aspects, and that aspect about Kala and Desha. And Rajanji keeps saying that if you take the same Aushadhi, you grow it in different locations around the world, then the guna of the Desha can be different. You see, and these are very subtle things which is understood in Ayurveda, but not still recognized by modern medicine. And I feel the instruments that are there, like Turiya and Nadi Tarangani, are those instruments, the first direction, indicating the direction in which we need to go in the future to understand Ayurvedic physiology. So Rajanji, thank you for being with us, joining. I hope you're joining. I don't know if you're joining from Pune or from Mumbai.
Yes, yes. Namaskar. आज का सभी जो स्पीकर थे, सबनी जी तो हमारे पुराने दोस्त है। निरंजन जी ने भी बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया, सौम्या जी ने भी, कमलेश जी ने जो कुछ बातें बताई, उसमें एक ही बात मैं ऐड करना चाहता हूं कि उनका जो कहना था कि आजकल हमारे किचन में ही, घर के किचन में जो पारंपरिक चीजें है वो बनती नहीं है। तो इसके लिए मेरे ख्याल से कि जॉइंट फैमिली आजकल किधर भी नहीं है, तो जो भी परंपरा में जो फूड हमारे घर में आता था वो अभी बनना बंद हो गया। तो स्पेशली टॉकिंग अबाउट बॉम्बे में तो हर घर में आजकल डोसा, इडली ये सब बनता है, सैंडविचेस। तो जो परंपरागत जो फूड था, क्या भी स्पेशली कि ये सीजन में मकर संक्रांति के समय में जो गुड़ की पोली जो बनाई जाती थी, रोटी, वो चली गई। जो हलवा बनाया जाता था कि अग्नि के हिसाब से ये सभी चीजें जो थी वो वही समय में खाना उचित रहता था। कि जैसा कि होली के टाइम में जो पूरन पोली बनाई जाती है कि जिसमें चने की दाल रहती है, और वो समय अग्निवर्धन और ये सब चीजें ध्यान में रख करके ये सब जो परंपरागत जो चीजें है ये बनाई जाती है। तो इसके लिए जॉइंट फैमिली और हर एक मैं ऐसा मतलब ये थोड़ा मेरा ज्यादा ये रहेगा, उचित नहीं रहेगा, पर हर एक गृहिणी को जो भी ट्रेडिशनल फूड्स है, आजकल बहुत सारे चैनल्स है, या YouTube पे बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स भी है, अपलोड किए जाते हैं, तो उसमें जो परंपरागत जो फूड है उसका भी बनना जरूरी है, क्योंकि वही हमारे लिए साथ में है। तो योगेश जी ने भी बहुत अच्छी बात कही कि बच्चों में अवेयरनेस लाने के लिए उनको थोड़ा सा आयुर्वेद जो है और अगर थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई करके बताएंगे, स्पेशली जो स्वस्थ वृत्त ये जो पार्ट है वो, और बाकी भी सभी चीजें, पर इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ स्वस्थ वृत्त अगर थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई और प्रैक्टिकली बताया जाए कि कुछ चीजें बना करके उसके बेनिफिट्स क्या है, तो ज्यादा उचित रहेगा। आज का डिस्कशन तो बहुत ही अच्छा था। परसों भी जो है उसमें भी सब हमारे दोस्त ही है, रमेश राजगुरु है, बाद में दोनों भी नेवपुरकर है, हाँ, तो इनके साथ भी अच्छा समय है, तो उनसे भी आज अभी थोड़ा टाइम पहले बात भी हुई थी। तो इसके लिए जो पवन जी है उनको तो सैल्यूट, वो जो कर रहे हैं, और आपको भी, आप फिर से ऐसे ही जुड़ते रहे, और हमको और भी हम कहते हैं कि थोड़ा सा एक पिंच देते रहे कि बाकी सभी लोग आयुर्वेद की तरफ अलग सोच से देखने लगे, कि जैसा आपने कहा कि अपनी बातचीत होते रहती है कि देश के हिसाब से, काल के हिसाब से, प्रकृति के हिसाब से अन्न जो है वो बदली होता है। तो थैंक यू पवन जी, थैंक यू मदन जी, और थैंक यू अग्निहोत्री जी। अग्निहोत्री जी ने तो अभी बहुत बड़ा बंच तैयार किया रहेगा, हाँ, तो उनको तो अभी पीएचडी देनी चाहिए अपनी तरफ से। वो इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी की तरफ से उनको पीएचडी दिया जाए, ऐसा मेरा सबसे अनुरोध है। तो नमस्कार
Rajan ji, pranam. Thank you, Rajan ji. Namaskar, pranam ji. You have raised a very important point, the subtle aspects की काल देश की बात, उसको कैसे सिंप्लीफाई करनी है और स्वस्थ वृत्त की तरफ कैसे ले जाएं, इसको थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करके for the young generation. And so I think you have connected very nicely with Agnihotri ji ka specialization, स्वस्थ वृत्त, and how to connect this thinking. I think we will invite अग्निहोत्री जी, नमस्कार जी। इसमें अग्निहोत्री जी शायद एक आप, before you start, I just want to flag one, एक हरीश जी है ही नहीं हमारे साथ शायद, but he has left a very important question. This is for all of us here. Harish ji, Canada से, his question is, if this is also, Soumya ji, this is also for you because it touches Agni, the concept that you highlighted. सवाल है chat box में, if there is no sign of Agni Mandya in healthy person, then can they take fast food occasionally? So this is an open question. I think Soumya ji can come back on this, but I first invite Agnihotri ji just to join. Agnihotri ji, namaskar ji, pranam ji.
Namaskar, sir. Anybody is there to speak first?
I think Soumya ji will come. Soumya ji, are you happy to take this question, Agni Mandya ka jo sawal, the question raised by from Harish ji from Toronto? So the question is in the chat box. I will read it out again. If there is no sign of Agni Mandya in a healthy person, then can they take fast food occasionally? So काफी कुछ है इस सवाल में जो हरीश जी ने जो सवाल फ्रेम किया, he has put many little twists in the question. एक तो है अग्नि मंड्य, are we understanding अग्नि मंड्य correctly? दूसरी चीज, who is the healthy person? So this is another important question. Healthy person कौन है? How do you define health? और तीसरी चीज, can they indulge in fast food occasionally? So we are not saying fast food should be banned completely. कि कभी-कभी we need that rajasic contribution also into our life. Fast food में से जो rajasic quality है, उसमें है rajasic quality, वो मन के लिए चाहिए थोड़ा सा, कभी occasionally, बीच-बीच में. This is my interpretation. Maybe you have something else to add. Soumya ji, please, and then we go to Agnihotri ji. Namaskar. Thank you for.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, we can listen. We can hear you.
Okay, so first of all, what is healthy? Who is healthy person? So already in our classics, that is sama dosha, sama dhatu, all these things should be in sama avastha. And as well as WHO also, we know that health is physical, mental, and social well-being, as well as spiritual. So if we are feeling healthy, so what we have to do is we have to notice our Agni. what is the status of Agni. Whatever we are taking, it is digestive, it's okay. Then next is regarding fast food for a normal Agni person. So fast food means it is readily processed food and no nutrients is there. Many fast food is not having any nutrients. So definitely what we need is guna sampanna aharam with nutrients is needed. So occasionally definitely we can take, because Acharya also telling about viruddha aharam and all, it is mentioning that those who are doing vyayamam, those are very satnam to that, he can take, but gradually it will cause disease. So it is not completely banned actually. In all this aspect, Acharya also telling that you can take, that is nityam shile is only there. That is, you should not take daily, but occasionally you can take. That is even starchy foods, that is vishishtam, viruddhanam, everything Acharya is mentioned, it should not be consumed daily. That's all. So once again, once a while, we will take pizza and means this junk food and all fast food. It is not actually a problem.
Soumya, thank you so much. You have elaborated nicely. I'm also wanting to thank you and everybody in college who are connected with the Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham. And this is very important for all of us because that Peetham was established by Adi Shankaracharya in a long time ago. People, in your website, it says 482 BC. And the Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham is very special because they have till now an unbroken lineage of the parampara of 70 generations, 70 acharyas, leaders who are there. So we are very fortunate to have you with us, and please connect with us and help us grow this initiative and bring your young students also into this activity, if time permits, just to inspire them to think just to think in a new way about the wealth and the strength of Ayurveda. And we are grateful to you for that. So I think Rajanji, please, before we bring Agnihotri ji. Rajanji, namaskar.
एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि आजकल जो एमडी स्टूडेंट्स है,
हाँ जी,
उनको अगर मिला करके उनको ही एक कुछ सब्जेक्ट दे करके उसके ऊपर भी अगर प्रेजेंटेशन किया जाए तो भी बहुत सारे बच्चे जुड़ जाएंगे, क्योंकि आजकल
मैं अपनी हर वेबिनार में एक एमडी स्टूडेंट को रखने को तैयार हूँ सर, सब्जेक्ट वाइज अपनी हर वेबिनार में।
जरूर जरूर, ये जिम्मेदारी मेरा।
जय भोलेनाथ।
ओके ओके, हाँ यस, चलो अभी अग्निहोत्री जी।
थैंक यू राजन जी, आपके पुदार नहीं, साइन कॉलेज इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आपकी पॉइंट we have taken note of. I can see the quick reaction from Pawan ji. This is a request for all the staff from here. हमारे साथ थे ईश शर्मा जी Mauritius से, हमारी आयुष प्रोफेसर. अब we have a new आयुष professor who joined yesterday. यहाँ यूरोप में शांतला, प्रोफेसर शांतला प्रियदर्शनी मैसूर से. She's in Riga in Latvia. So we have good, strong people in many places. So the colleges, I'm looking to Nilakshi ji from Guwahati, Soumya ji from Chennai, because you also have a good connection with Kerala. The two strong. Olur is a very, very old institution. You have studied in Kannur. So you will bring many dimensions to our activity. So please join us in building a strong future for all of us, for us as an institution, for the students, for the future, to see the beauty of Ayurveda and the strength in Ayurveda. I request Agnihotri ji. Agnihotri ji, namaskar ji.
Yes, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Thank you, Manan sir and Dr. Pawan Sharma sir. I pay my respect to all the great speakers with their wonderful informations. We were having our 3 speakers today. Dr. Mukund sir highlighted the fullest concept of today's fast food and leading to the ailments, several ailments. I think he focused the physiopathology of all the food, fast food, if taken by anybody, how it is going to harm. Not only he made us all aware for all the edibles, how they may become fast food. or how they may put in the category of fast food. So he not only make ourselves aware, but also alarmed that we should be careful for taking any diet, even if it is milk or adulterated milk, I should say, after adding so many things. In this way, anything, if it is preserved or it is recooked or means put in coming from cold storage or processed with some preservatives, is leading to this category to create harm. So whatever our literature is there in our text, especially the 5th chapter of Charak Sangita, Mata Shiti Shai, it is not healthy or good or an ornament to be remain there. It should also be encased in the form of the good health. So not only the Mata Shiti Adhyay, to Ahar with Visheshayatan, everything should be taken into consideration, and its direction should be practiced. Only we can save ourselves with the good health, and we will not go for the fast food. Our second speaker, Dr. Niranjan Saraf, we met him in Ujjain CME of Swasthavatte. He is a good friend of mine. He also put forward so many things, but one thing he made good: whatever is taken after food, Vajrasana is important, or Shavasana is also of some value. Simply because if there is any deviation of Agni or so, the taken food may be given time to get it itself digested. And for the wider sense of food definition, I'll tell afterwards. Now I'll take Dr. Soumya. She also talked about so many things, and especially emphasized over the concept of Agni. She also answered so many afterwards questions. The idea was the same, that we have got a very rich text. We have to make it a practical aspect, and we have to save our kids, our child, right from their early life to the young youth. This is what the things are changing in present scenario. Maybe so many concepts, maybe unique, ununited family, single family, or persons are not having up-to-date knowledge regarding the old traditional, regional and seasonal food cooking. So that's why they are just ready to take out from market the biscuit or bread or anything ready-made. Ready to eat. Ready to eat is the concept. Dr. Avaidya Kamlesh Sharmaji from Jaipur, he narrated very good things, and I think after him, nothing to be said or added. He very good put forward that black gram and jaggery, I mean gul or chana. He talked about the bal buddhi for Hanumanji. So the healthiest person was there, Hanumanji, when it was a point to cross the ocean, Hind Ocean, Indus Ocean, because otherwise all the persons talked about their some ailment or old age like Jambavan and so on. So the idea was this, that whether this prasad is given to offered to him nowadays in Kali Yuga, but in Treta Yuga, khayo phal moi lagi bhukha, kap swabhav se tore rukha. He was fond of fruits. So fruits are taken is always good and healthier for health instead of the juice. Sugar cane is good instead of sugarcane juice. So this should also be kept in mind. And gur and chana is definitely, it is also fast food. It is ready food. I recapitulate my 60 or 58 years back school time when we were given chana murmura in lunch in government college. And now in the same condition, I would like to say that I gave admission to my kids to the SHPS, Swami Hariharanand Public School. It was carrying with the ICSC board, and there were instructions that respect teachers, obey parents, and helping others. After 3 instructions, one has to bring a separate bag for the lunch. And what are the contents of lunch? First of all, thali, katori, chammach, gilas, and then roti, dal, sabji, salad, 1 fruit daily. If a person is not getting food, there will be a note in diary that did not carry fruit. And if you are not having fruit, put some small piece of jaggery. This was the culture from 90 to 96, 97. And that was not that era for the fast food. These momos, fast food, junk food, pizza, burger, roll, and so many things are there. These are just developed in last 10 years or so. So this culture can be regained again with the view that these fast foods are ultimately leading to so many gut disturbances, and the ready-made food in the form of the chana, murmura, semolina, kheer, everything they were taught, and they are even having the knowledge to prepare by them. And my daughter-in-law and my daughter both are having their kids with the home remedies preparation daily with so many things. They are having their kid and their maid servants to make them. So it can be done. You were repeatedly pointing out, and this question is floating so many times, that how the kids, how the children can be made. So the guidance should be given to the mothers, and whosoever is looking after the kids, they can be taught the, even you see after delivery, now they are, the concept has gone away about the harira and panjiri. These are the things which were making good health of the lady who was in that time lactating. So everything is there. Our traditional, regional and seasonal things are to be honored. This is what the concept of today's concept, I think, and these all contribution from my side. So if we will be aware, we will be able to save our life and the life of our kids. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Thank you. Pawan Ji, all yours. Namaskar. आपका, please unmute, Pawan Ji. Unmute करो जी.
On 11th February, Inventor Day is there, National Inventor Day. So all inventors, again we are calling Mr. Ramnath and Mr. Aniruddha Joshi, Turya and Ayurvedam, who have been awarded just now by Ministry, and then Ramesh Rajguruji, Sanjay Chhajedji, and the couple Vaidya Santosh B. Nevpurkar and Saubhagyavati Anga Nevpurkar ji, Basavaraj K, who is the founder of Nadi Swar, that is different equipment, Dr. Girish K. Daga, proctoscope, he has made proctoscope. Then on 12th, Sex and Reproduction Health Awareness Day is there. Dr. K.K. Dwivedi from Varanasi, Dr. Ram Tirth Sharma from Ujjain, Dr. Milind Patil from Mumbai, Dr. Swagat N from Agra will grace the occasion. And then on 13th, we have shifted the time due to evening. We don't want to spoil any evening, Sunday evening. So only one lecture, radio waves, because World Radio Day is there. That has separate meaning, but we have just entangled that meaning for our health. Radio waves for health. So Dr. P.S. Vyadgi will grace the occasion as a speaker on Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. All from my side.
Pawanji, thank you. You have,
thank you very much.
I don't know how you managed to bring so many wonderful people together. You have brought so
God's
many
grace, your blessings. God's grace, your blessings. अग्निहोत्री जी हैं, पटनकर जी हैं, आप हैं, विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी हैं, सब जगदीश्वर जी हैं, ये सभी की मैं बिल्कुल आशीर्वाद मिल रहा है मुझे।
वैद्य पतंकर जी ने पूछा था कि क्या कौन सा भोजन आजन्म साथ में हो सकता है, आजन्म साथ में, तो मैंने उनके पर्सनल उसमें चैट में डाल दिया कि राम नाम आजन्म साथ में भोजन है, और राम नाम लेके आप जो भी भोजन करेंगे वो आत्मसात करेगा और आजन्म साथ बना रहेगा। तुम्हें निवेदित भोजन करें, प्रसाद पट भूषण धरे।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
बिफोर पवन जी, अगर 1-2 मिनट हो हमारे, आई वांट टू टेक निरंजन जी की तरफ से कुछ, अगर निरंजन जी आपकी तरफ उज्जैन से बताओ जी, आपने आपकी तरफ से, क्योंकि आपको उज्जैन में महाकालेश्वर की देश की वहाँ से, और आपकी पुराना जो आश्रम संदीपनी मुनि का आश्रम, वेयर Lord Krishna Balram came to study. अब वहाँ से थोड़ा बताओ जी, हमें ले चलो आगे थोड़ा, आपकी उज्जैन से थोड़ा सोच हो before we draw this meeting to a close. I also request Soumya ji to put, if you can share your contact details so that we can take forward some points that Pawan ji said about bringing young students, MD level students into our activity so that we can connect, because you have studied in some wonderful institutions. Olur is a very, very prestigious institution that has a connection to the Ashtavaidya Paramparas, the most families. And Olur is a small village that is full of goldsmiths. All the gold ornaments that you will find are all made in this small village of Olur. I think they process many tons of gold every year in Olur. So you know all these things, Soumya ji. So please share your telephone number so that contact details, email address, etc., so that we can keep in touch. If you put in the chat box, there will be many people like Nilakshi ji who might want to contact you. Niranjan ji, आपकी तरफ से थोड़ा last few words from Ujjain.
सर मैं बस इतना कहना चाहूंगा कि
आपका आवाज कम चल रहा है जी, थोड़ा सा.
सर मैं बस इतना कहना चाहूंगा. अब आवाज क्लियर है सर?
थोड़ा सा कमी है जी, आपके शायद कंप्यूटर में कुछ है.
चेहरे पर भी लाइट नहीं आ रही, थोड़ा चेहरे पर लाइट भी करिए, अंधेरा है.
हाँ
सर बस सॉरी सर बस मैं इतना कहना चाहूंगा कि हमको कुछ अच्छी टेक्स्ट बुक्स फॉर्म करनी होंगी आयुर्वेद को एलॉबोरेट करने के लिए. जिस तरह से मैंने अपने लेक्चर्स में एलॉबोरेट किया, एक्चुअली हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को आयुर्वेद को अच्छी तरह से एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते हैं. जैसे मैंने चपाती का एग्जांपल दिया कि वह सस्टेन्ड एनर्जी रिलीज करती है, राइस का एग्जांपल दिया कि वह इंस्टेंट एनर्जी देता है. तो इसी तरह यदि हम अपने सब्जेक्ट को अच्छी तरह से समझेंगे और उसको एलाबोरेट कर सकेंगे. अभी आयुर्वेद में टेक्स्ट बुक्स की बहुत ज्यादा कमी है, ऐसा मैं समझता हूं, कि जो अच्छी तरह से आयुर्वेद को एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाती हैं. आयुर्वेद में सभी चीजें बहुत कॉन्साइज्ड फॉर्म में है या गुण रूप में दी गई हुई हैं. यदि हम उनको एलाबोरेट नहीं करेंगे, उसको आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में नहीं समझा पाएंगे, तो हम अब कभी भी आयुर्वेद की प्रोग्रेस नहीं करवा पाएंगे. जैसे मैंने योगी का एग्जांपल दिया और अदर बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स दिए. जैसे मंड का भी एग्जांपल दिया कि पंचकर्म के बाद क्यों मंड देते हैं. तो हम उसको बस लघु है, अग्नि को अच्छा रखता है, पर एक्चुअली होता क्या है ये हमको समझाना है कि पेरिस्टाल्टिक मूवमेंट में भी फटीग होती है जैसा एक्सटर्नल बॉडी में फटीग होती है. तो मैं ऐसा समझता हूँ कि बहुत से टेक्स्ट की अभी कमी है, बहुत अच्छी बुक्स की कमी है हमारे आयुर्वेद.
Thank you, Niranjan ji. Thank you. This is a very, very important point. Shayad Pawan ji will take this up as one theme for about instructional books, manuals, textbooks in Ayurveda. Shayad we will put this as a very important theme in our, and we will have a separate event about this. Shayad Agnihotri ji की तरफ से एक दो शब्द होंगे ये टेक्स्ट बुक के बारे में.
निरंजन जी ने अच्छा कहा है, सही बात है. आज का बच्चा +2 करके आता है सीबीएसई से, आईसीएसई से, फ्लुएंट इंग्लिश रखता है, उसकी एनालिटिकल माइंड होता है, कई बार बीएससी भी होके आते हैं. तो बहुत जरूरी है कि आयुर्वेदिक टेक्स्ट को, आयुर्वेदिक सूत्रों को उनके समझ के अनुसार साइंटिफिक बेसिस पर फिजियोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट या पैथोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट रूप में समझाने वाली मेड इजी बुक्स हो, जिनमें लिटरेचर या सूत्र संस्कृत कम हो और संस्कृत बेस्ड ट्रांसलेशन के आधार पर वो इंफॉर्मेशन फर्निश किया है, तो बच्चों को ज्यादा अच्छे से आयुर्वेद को समझ में आएगा. निरंजन ने सही कहा है.
थैंक यू निरंजन जी. ये देखो हमारी डिस्कशन कैसे चलता कि कोई एजेंडा, बिना एजेंडा उसमें से मोटे मोटे चीज निकल आती है. ये देखो हमारी, we could have closed this session, but the most important point has come out in the last minute before we close the session. So Soumya ji, thank you for your details. We look forward to your help ji, क्योंकि you are connected with so many institutions and we look forward to your help and guidance. Pawan ji, it has been such a rich discussion. You have brought so many people with the help of, and before I sign off, I just want to say thank you to Jayesh ji. Jayesh ji is working very silently, Piche, and he's
Every
doing
time,
so,
sir, every time he is cooperating.
So, Jayesh ji,
Every time.
namaskar. Thank you for your.
He is my resource person.
I know he is very, very important for us, and he connects so many people in so many places around India and elsewhere. Thank you. Thank you, ji. Namaste.
Madan
Namaste.
sir, thank you Agnihotri sir, Pawan sir,
Sir,
thank you.
thank you, thank you. Niranjan जी पहचान लिया ना निरंजन जी? Hello, पहचाना?
निरंजन जी,
सर क्यों नहीं पहचानेंगे?
निरंजन जी जोड़ते रहिए हमारी मीटिंगों में।
थोड़ा वॉल्यूम और थोड़ा फेस पर अपने लाइट का वैसा फोकस कर लेना, अच्छा लगेगा।
ओके सर, ओके ओके।
बहुत दिन बाद
वाली सेमिनार में
4-5 साल बाद दर्शन हुए।
जी जी सर जी।
चलो, नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।